2 board card readers in front of each of y'all. So as long as your 2 cards get inside that square for about a second to a second and a half, it'll register. After that, you can take them up and do with them as you please. Please don't put hard creases in them. Don't bend them like you want them a little bit thicker. Have an ID chip in the middle. That's super, super sensitive. Quick note on the screen is they play slower. Even if y'all are ready to fold or snap call or do a bunch of actions with the cameras in rhythm, the dealer's going to announce it as it's needed for the cameras for the show. So you might as well take an extra second and a half, 2 seconds between your actions, because even if y'all all snap fold, Chris is going to be folding them in rhythm again with the cameras for the better show production.
Taking arrows tall when we're online.
At that level, you probably wouldn't be picked up if you're projecting at my level right now.
But that's not what I'm asking. They're on.
Yes, sir. They are on. They are live. You can be heard. If you project loud enough like me, you would absolutely be heard. Drinks. I've got cocktail service. We'll send drinks over at your pleasure. Please, if y'all are doing cheers or shots or whatever, don't cheers over the table. Keep your drinks off the table.
Final instructions before we get cards in the air here live at the Palms. Mike Jungblut, the dude talking. Joined by friend Aaron McInnes here in the commentary secluded area. Very private, obviously gated and fenced in, but good to have you here, man. It's out here in the commentary straight. You did a show or two there in the past, so it's good to reunite. How's it going, brother?
Good. It's been really nice. Been working out lately, feeling good. The weather's starting to cool off a little bit here and there, so it's nice to be able to be outside a bit more. Poker's going well. Got to go to Vegas a couple weeks ago. That was a fun experience. Now I'm just excited for all the poker that's coming up in town.
So hopefully get our sound levels to the level that we want it to, as we are going to get to our first couple of hands here soon enough. We've got a couple of nice shows coming up here on Live at the Palms. We'll have a Wednesday 2-5 PLO game that's going to include poker Instagram influencer, the Poker Gypsy. Interesting guys, got a unique audience. Then we've got Ladies Night. We've got a Ladies Night cash game set for next Tuesday. And be on the lookout for that, so make sure to click subscribe so you don't miss that notification popping on up. And then I believe it is the following Wednesday, we're going to have Conrad Simpson from Solve for Why also joining us. So should make for some exciting stuff coming up here. But we're going to get to a hand here soon enough here, Aaron. I think it's a good time to get some of our messaging out of the way. Again, if you want to get on the list for these games in the future, 512-953-8388, located here at the Crossroads Shopping Center.
And we're starting off with some action. We've got Rondo with ace-king suited first hand. Roger with 10s in the cutoff. Looks like he just... Oh, he 3-bets. Eric Gordon with the fold on the button. And John D in the big blind finds his own ace-king. Pretty deep game to start out. We've got multiple 7K plus stacks for a 5-10. Roger the shortest of the bunch with 4. Got the cold 4 from John. Rhonda and Roger both find the call.
So right here out of the gates, we're going to have a 2.5K pop, 3 different directions, a couple of big slicks and a pocket 10s, and big flop for Rhonda. Roger here with pocket 10s. We open at a straight draw. This is going to be a bigger pot now, isn't it?
Yeah. So the original raiser was John, who has nothing here. So we're going to see how Rhonda and Roger get the money in, because I can't imagine it doesn't start off with a bang. Roger obviously overpaired with a straight draw. Nothing's going to stop him from getting the money in. Rhonda bets very large, 80% pot, 2K. Roger is going to be all in.
Really has no other choice.
Yeah.
After this bet, like, there's no call and then push on the turn. It's just going to have to get into the middle.
Yeah. I wish he had bet a little bit smaller just to make things a little more interesting. But all in is also just going to keep things strong to start off with a flip. And 10s hold.
Wow. Rhonda with a ton of outs and none of them get that. Well, I guess, like... at least one combo of ace-king, as we've seen, is already out. But
yeah, she still said 48% on flop, so big hand to start it off for Roger. He's going to more than double up on the first hand. 9K pot, the first hand of the night. Can't ask for much more action to get us rolling.
Can't. I mean, we can, and we probably will. We'll be
more-
piping hot
yeah.
for more action. Come on, just get it all in every other hand, and we'll see how the night progresses. So I think the total that we're going to get out of this is 8.9k pot, right on the first hand of the night, a 510 on cap, no limit cash here at Plum Social. And check us out on Instagram, Plum Social 512. Hit that like, click subscribe. We can keep pumping out the word, hopefully make it an all-time night for us here. As episode number 8 here, Aaron, we've done a bunch of these that it feels like already, and we're just kind of getting started. And excited to see what we've got ahead. I know we've done such a different variety of games. We had a 1-2 game that we streamed on Saturday night for the fun of the game. Some different stakes PLO. We'll probably hopefully get some more big stakes cash games here, but we are rocking. We appreciate you subscribing, liking us. Why don't we move along here to the next hand?
Yeah, the PLO scene here is really strong, so it's nice to see that get showcased to the YouTube streets.
Yeah, I'm confident in the future of it. I think there just needs to be some dedication to include it, and hopefully it finds the people that it's looking for. As there's a lot of great hold'em stuff out there, and to the point that it's also like you hope you have the ability to grow that game just as much as you can, even not just for a club, but really hope for the community. Well, we've got an Aces alert here as K-Rock Bastion.
So we got 2 Ace Kings first hand, and then Aces the next hand. 3-bet out of the big blind. Generally going to be a pretty strong cluster of hands that wants to do this. John's going to make the call, and Justin's going to go call with the 7s. Could see some action, but in most instances, Aces will just take it down pretty quickly. Got a pair for John G. 1.2k in the middle. Expect a C-bet, probably somewhere in the range of 300 to 500. And it looks like 500 and change. Alright, just 5.
I catch you a little bit closer.
Alright. John will step away here with a pair of 10s, and Justin will follow suit. So, an undramatic one for Aces, but sometimes you win those pots, you're happy. That's the way that it goes down.
Yeah, good fold by John on the flop too, just flopping a pair and still just recognizing where he's at.
Let's take a look here in the chat. The great Nick from Yuma with us. Rhonda saying hello. PM. Chat Pro PM joining us. Racer Nerd as well. Jazzbo Poker. ETX Poker. The great Jimmy Bluffing here managing the chat, keeping an eye on us. As Rhonda saying, I'm still licking my wounds from that first hand. Like, usually you just like to be able to ease your way into a cash game, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, I guess I'm going to be in for at least like 4K on the first one here. I can't fold. Ah, tough one.
And John wakes up with queens. We got plenty of stuff going down. Looks we got a 5-10, $20 straddle. And John with a big open to 120.
And we've got White Claws in the background as well. So this has all the potentials for an all-time stream here tonight.
And looks like it's going to fold through. No action for the queens from John. He's going to be needling everyone about how tight they are. I can guarantee it.
That's guaranteed. Put on here by Aaron McInnes and Mike Emlet. Dude talking. Shout out to producer Sonny. So Action Tracker Q. You see Sam Von Kennel. Also Wander of the Streets, our general manager Chris here in the boxes. 5-10 night is tracking on some new ground here in episode 8, and hopefully you're seeing a smoother experience here on the YouTube stream. Make sure to smash the like, click subscribe, share the link if you can. Because there, you know, like I left one show and I had a big following, and then I just kind of like, okay, hey, I couldn't necessarily be like, dude, I'm going to Palm Social. So we might still need to get a word out to the chat pros there all across the world that, hey, this is where it's at. This is where it's at here at Palm Social.
For sure. We've got the 5, 10, 20, and 40 going on. John, a fan of the straddle. Jack 9 suited going to open under the gun from Roger. And we are folding around to the big blind. Trey going to find the fold. Jaywin with the queen 10 offsuit. He finds a fold as well. John G, king, queen. Very strong hand in the straddle. Going to make the call. Heads up, 285 in the middle. Ace, Jack, Jack. Roger flopping trips. John with the backdoor nut flush draw and a gut shot to the nut straight. This to be a 150 c-bet, so just over half pot. John gonna make the call. And that's going to be a 9. Filling up Roger, but giving John the flush draw that I was mentioning. So we'll see what happens here. Looks to be a big one. John's gonna lead for 350 into 585. So pretty big bet from him. And a big raise coming in from Roger. Looks to be 1.1 thousand. John with a decision to make. Whenever you lead on this texture and get raised, it's going to be a lot of strength mostly. And he's going to find the call. And the backdoor spades get in. John gonna lose a big one. $2.8K on the river. John's gonna lead again.
Oh boy.
For 2.2 into 2.8, so 75% pot. And the only real raise size for Roger here is all in. And he's gonna be feeling really good about that. I wonder if John's gonna be able to get away. He's got a strong hand. And that looks to be a call.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he was able to. That's if we've got the totals right, an over $17,000 pot here with the king high flush versus jacks full of 9s. And
Roger is on a strong first 3 hands. You can't ask for much more. Tends to hold up versus 2 ace kings and then turning a full house versus a backdoor flush.
Goodness gracious. Rhonda, say, hey Mike, tell one of the camera guys we need to get my boots on camera. I think we could coordinate that. We are on a half-hour delay, so like we'd have to kind of prepare and time it for the right moment. So we're just like, hey Rhonda, stand over on like wherever seat 2 is, and then like if you get an open space, just like wait for it a little bit. At least we can catch a glimpse of it. I mean that is most likely your best bet. Otherwise, we could coordinate it. I can yell at somebody here. I say, hey, let's see those boots on the air.
Her boots are strong. I'm not sure if you've seen them. They are very sparkly, very Rhonda. Can't say much more. They suit her well.
And I respect the hustle. Like if you want to come out in style. That's kind of the unique thing about the poker community is that you can come out to these games, get yourself all fancied up, dressed like James Bond. You can wear a gigantic cowboy hat or top hat or anything. Like, the world is your oyster at that point to express yourself here on the live stream. And we just want to be able to give the opportunity to fully express yourself and getting those boots up in the air. So, alright, we hop along to the next hand. Still counting out all the chips out there. Now that is hopefully a good sign of things to come here in this game. We figured that we would just kind of ease our way into it, be a couple of raise folds, and it's just like let's get into like an 8K pot and then a 16K pot and just F around and find out.
John reloading for 10, trying to get some of his money back.
Jimmy in the say at Rhonda, humble brag, Whataburger cup. You know it's actually like a perfect size if you're gonna be sitting here at the cup holder. Like you don't have to reach down the neck too strong. Like it's kind of like its own tower of power in a part of Texas that I do have a Whataburger story that is horrendous from last night, but I'm going to make sure we don't have a hand that happens. And it's kind of what I deserve for going to the place. As great as it is kind of like, okay, well, you're culpable in this. All right, King 8-5 with 2 spades is going to flop top and pair for J-Win. I don't expect. Okay, I can expect here that Roger is just going to try to blast at this first. A little surprised by that, but when you're on a heater...
Yeah, he was the initial raiser pre, so he's going to be repping the strong hands that he could have ace, king, aces, all the sets.
Oh, okay. I got the action backwards.
Yeah,
so,
J1 was the big blind.
Flop raiser C-bet.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a donkey. That's...
He's doubling through. Interesting board. Wouldn't really expect this all the time. You probably want something slightly stronger, but you're blocking a lot of the king X that big blind can have, so... In king, queen, king, jack, so I think it's not bad. J1 just happens to have one of the few combos that's gonna probably find a call down.
I think we've got the 4 of diamonds on the end, so... Rainbow board, but I guess 7-6 gets there, so it's...
Yeah.
I think Roger just elected to just give up here at this point.
I like that give up.
Yeah, every once in a while you gotta know when you gotta slow down.
For sure.
So get this, last night I put in an online order of Whataburger. As soon as I get there appears to be like a walkout in progress where like either 1 or 2 or 3 of the staff members on like a Sunday night have been like, you know what, we're getting the shaft here. So I hung around for like an hour just because I was listening to a podcast and I never got my food, and it was a maddeningly frustrating experience to be like, I've dived this much time into it, and I happen to be like right in the middle of just complete unrest in this particular location. Just because we mentioned the Whataburger Cup, I know it has no relevance otherwise, but who wins the sound check cannot hear Mike. Both our mics are way up, so
Maybe just been a dead spot. I think we're so far so good. Got John D opening king queen, early position. Queen 10 suited, finding a call on the hijack. Ronda in the cutoff, gonna find a call. And gets to Roger in the straddle with ace 10 suited. Could go either way between a call and a raise. He's just gonna flick it in. Flops an open-ender, John D with a gut shot, K-Rock Bastion with a nut straight, and Ronda with top pair, second nut kicker. Looks to be a bit of action. John with the only diamond amongst the 4.
all right. See where it draws action from, and not straight betting. Roger does not want to continue with the open ender, and while this actually could just be a single bet and fold.
Not what I was expecting. I expected the ace 10 to at least find one call on it, but that was a pretty big bet from the queen 10, so I get it.
Roger Nuss, again, sitting above with 16.9K in the early going. John G here with 15 as we are graced by the presence of Cedric Trevino, the Poker Traveler. What's happening on, Cedric? Glad to have you on in here. We answer any of your questions. Again, if you're watching on the archive, leave us a comment. I know, like, if you're watching after the fact, like, don't underestimate your power of smashing that like button in any due time. Even if it's a year from now, 5 years from now, you're going to it, just say, give it a little love, give it a little boost. And
We've got the 20 on to start, 5, 10, 20, $75 raise from Justin under the gun. Queen 10 fold from early position. I like that fold. Justin's going to have a pretty strong range of hands that he opens from this position. Trey with some devious intentions from the look of it, and going to find the fold.
He's living high and large. Saints won big yesterday against Green Bay, so I think he's rocking that Who Dat swag right now.
For sure. John going to find the call with Queen Jack. Roger with 9-8 suited in the big blind. And Mr. Air Gordon himself going to find the fold in the straddle. Jack 6 deuce rainbow. John with top pair checks it to Justin. No backdoor possibilities for him. I like the check back. 7 of diamonds. The gin turn for Roger. Now open-ended with a flush draw. $245 in the middle. He's gonna lead for 150. Looks to be thinking about a raise. And yeah, Roger's going after it in the early stages. Raised to 500. I like the size, maybe a little bit bigger, but overall I think it's good. John is saying you can't have it again, can you?
This guy's got his revenge range here at this point.
Yes. He's tired of getting picked on. He's got a hand that can call. And river is the offsuit 3. I'm curious to see what Roger is going to do with his hand.
I think, like, if you're constructing, like, a bet size that's... Like, John's not ever going to fold here, but if you're in Roger's position, that... Is it more of, like, I've got to go just about the same size as, another, like, just a little bit more?
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Big bet, 1.1K, and John snap folds.
I guess based on the way that it played out, that it's... it can look like 2-pair, it can look like a set, it can... From John's perspective, but...
I think when you find that turn call, you probably need to be calling down on rivers. You don't have any diamonds in your hand. All of the available draws missed except for 4-5. And I think 4-5 is not as likely to raise on its own, so...
Jimmy Bluff at Saints. LOL, just wait. Winston will have 3 picks next week. I don't know. They've got a good, solid game plan to what to use to him, but I don't disagree with the sentiment. Can we talk about my fish? Hashtag fins up. Yeah, Miami Dolphins with a nice, solid W. I need to watch the Game Pass so I can go through the condensed games.
Who'd they play? The Dolphins?
Yeah, they played the Pats. So first game for Mac Jones, and you know those are always weird ones between the Patriots and the Dolphins. The Finns get the opener, so I'm just not going to overreact to anything until maybe like 3-4 weeks down the line. It is still very much early, and
yeah, a lot of young quarterbacks out in the NFL, so it'll be interesting to see how they'll develop.
What we got? Justin here with middle pair. Roger with ace 3 had just been deciding to raise it up out of the small blind to $75, and
Justin with second pair. Roger's just gonna give up. He has the ace of spades with the backdoor nut flush draw. I like the check. I think a lot of people would be a little too aggressive in this spot. This board is really advantageous for the caller overall. So good check fold. I think people can get caught up there very often.
Awesome. Cedric says I'll be in Austin between September 26th to 27th, split in time between Palms and the other place. And congrats to those guys up there, by the way. Nice job. But
yeah, very nice room.
As you look out here on the Felt of Dreams, this table built and put together here by Texas Poker Supply. It is really an aesthetically pleasing. Like, I think we're working on sharpening up the cameras a little bit and getting everything rock solid. And our team's working super duper hard to create a system and to create some consistency. And we hope to have just an awesome night here on the stream. Make sure to like. What else do we got going on in Chatsville? Jimmy saying I'm a rich man if the Dolphins win the division. Drinks on Jimmy. Well, I hope it's whenever you come here, man. I want to be able to cash in on that.
For sure. And Roger with the late position open with 10-7. Justin going to wake up with kings and I assume get next to no action.
Yeah, I don't see a straddle out there, so
yeah.
This is...
All right, Roger's just going after it in the early stages. I respect it.
He's got the Dan in the Grande. It's the 10-7 offsuit, man. Isn't that his patented hand? Okay.
We've got a gutter ball for Roger to the 8s. And Justin with the overpair, backdoor flush draw. Sitting pretty, 150 into 405 on the flop. Good sizing. I think you could go slightly bigger here. But overall, not a mistake. Turn 6. No help for Roger. Same gut shot there. He's going to find the check. And Roger now with all the options on the table. He's going after it in the early stages. What is this? Looks like 5. Oh, full pot, 700. That's a big bet. Applying the pressure to Justin.
And this is where it feels hairy, especially with kings. Like, I don't expect Justin's ever folding, but
The
he
river's
probably has to be aware that there is going to be some combo draws here and potential 2 pairs and stuff like that. So
Queen of diamonds. Flush completes. 10-8 completes. King 10 gets there, which you have 2 kings, so that's less likely. 7-8 got there on the turn, which was a double gutter on the flop. Pot is 2.1. Justin with 2.6 behind. Looks like Roger could be going for an all-in if he gets stack sizes correct. Yeah, he's just gonna put them all in. And I think
wow.
Roger's going after it. I like the bet, but I think Justin has a call here. You're blocking the king 10. You're blocking a lot of the flush draws. It's not an easy call. If he finds a fold, I wouldn't blame him, but
it's like we've had the context to be able to look at this from afar. Again, we are on a 30-minute delay, so Justin can't totally know what to make out of Roger's aggression at this point. That obviously, from our perspective, we've seen him really get after it here in this live stream. But if you're maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 hands deep at this point, like,
that's hard.
It's
hard to make the
tough to
call.
discern, like, just what this all means.
Yeah, Roger's shown down 2 nut hands and then gotten John G to fold on river without showdown, so it's not an easy call to make by any stretch of the imagination.
Tricky spot here for
100%. Justin gonna be taking his time. Oh, he finds the call. Well done. Gonna find the 7.4k pots.
I think Justin was even like, "Wait, did you make a hand? It looked like you had like a 10 in there," and
Yeah.
realizing it was Roger going for the jugular. And yeah, kudos to him. I mean, that is, I think, when we talk of like optimal ways that you want to go and attack, and not unlike or like Texas, all gas, no brakes there, as went for it, but called here by Justin here for what's going to be a 7.4k pot or so. A nice night here for us at Palm Social in Austin, Texas. You can check out our website, palmsocialclub.com. Follow the Instagram and Facebook, again, searching Palm Social 512. Your number one source to get all the info of what the heck is going on. And got Caitlin running that, so it's always producing some nice stuff to keep spreading the good word of Palm Social.
Yeah, I was gonna say, very active Instagram. She's on the streets doing it very regularly, keeping the content going. I'm not sure if that's the small blind or the button game that they're playing, but I'm excited for it. We've got the 5, 10, 20, and the 40 coming out from Rhonda. Trey not putting on the 80, but would have had the ace-king suited. 125 open under the gun. And John G with the ace-10 suited, gonna call in the hijack. Roger with a good looking hand, 6-7 suited in the cut. Gonna find the call as well. Very multi-way to start this out. And
what does Rhonda have? It looks like she is going to make a call 7-6 of diamonds.
a lot of good hands out there. Let us see what the flop brings.
Ooh, here we go.
Queen, Jack 4, 2 diamonds and a heart. Rhonda with the only flush draw. Trey and John both with gut shots. And Roger with a lot of nothing.
This gives you some hope. Like, if you get a spicy turn card, it looks like the mildest of mild, the deuce. There was enough with each of like 3 of the 4 hands that you're like, okay, maybe we'll see somebody go and attack this here. Looks like the deuce did not scan, so the action tracker is still trying to catch it. I think we're working on some new decks too for the future, but based, we do see like a fold in 2 different spots. So my assumption would be Rhonda fired at this or Trey fired at this, and it's going to come back here to Rhonda for 300, and most likely a call, but
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised Ronda didn't bet it herself. And she's going to find the fold.
I guess probably for that size, it sort of becomes transparent after 2 check throws that maybe it's not even flush draw, but, you know, I am not probably as well versed and schooled on any of the thought of, like, what's good balance and what's correct and what's just, like, just let it go.
It's just hard to get value from Ronda if a diamond completes on the river. If you lead into that, it's a pretty easy fold for Trey. So I think it's a good fold. I'm actually just surprised that Trey decided to make the bet on turn. I don't think it's bad. I'm just not something I expected.
This game will surprise you sometimes. As got in the Baltimore Oakland game, Lamar Jackson with a big run here in his one of his first attempts. But invite you to come out and Palm Social here on Saturdays. College Football Saturday is always on here, and had a live stream last Saturday night, and we'll see if we're going to have one Thursday or this coming Saturday, but, man, I think we got some really good streams coming up. A couple of Juggalos, a couple of J-Balls here for Big John, raise up to 100 after the...
That is 2 big pairs with no action for John. Queens and Jacks, both in the first 2 orbits. Pretty frustrating based after his early start, so...
All right, as a good friend, the Pratt-O-Matic, David Pratt here in the chat where he won, joining us as well as could be a part of the discussion. Also leave us a comment if you're watching here on the archive. Share the link. Spread the good word here. A 510 no limit tonight at Palm Social. Got a couple of highlight reels going to be popping tomorrow. I think we got a PLO one for from last week's 2-5 game that had somebody winning like at least like 10K, and that was in like 2 hours. We ran like 2 hours, just like zoom. 10K at least profit in that. But all right, what do we got? Roger with ace jack, Eric Gordon.
We see 3-bet to 250, king queen offsuit. Pretty aggressive in the early stages. And Roger gonna slow down, find the fold. I think after this 10-7 debacle, he's gonna take some time off.
Yeah, that is will give you some pause after like a big bluff catch, I think, because I think sometimes you'll see once you get snapped there for a little bit, you have to readjust and expect that people are ready to kind of snap you. So. Well, so far so good. Let's see what we got on the next hand.
Got 5-10-20 from Jaywin.
Oh, we can do double board bomb pot, single board bomb pot. But we can change it to yellow.
2 folds from John and Roger. Gordon gonna fold his favorite hand.
They don't have the technology for 2 boards.
Unbelievable. Nice.
I'm as surprised as you. Rhonda folding the small blind. Trey going to limp in with the jack 8, and J1 gonna check. Heads up, 7K deep, 45 in the middle. Middle pair for Trey. Nothing for Jay. Madoogie board, all different suits, and Trey's gonna bet and take it down. And we move on.
Yeah, not much to that one, but I think we're all eagerly awaiting the appearance of Rhonda's boots. It's hard for her to know which camera that she could be on, so we can see if we can get a feature on those. As David Pratt in the chat saying, I fully approve of Gordon's new name. You know, hey, you're free to be somebody new every time here on the Live at the Palm. So
I think that was Q's doing. He just told him his name, and Gordon approved, so we'll see how long it sticks.
yeah, I mean, there's different connotations. You could be the high-flying type, or you can be the I have Air Gordon on this board. And
his reputation would not like the second one, so we'll see what happens.
quite.
We've got 125 open from Justin. Just a smooth call from Ace-King in the cutoff. I would like to see a 3-bet when we're this deep. 5K at 510. Definitely going to want to try and put some more money in. John G going to find the call with 8, and Roger as well. Jack 3 offsuit going to complete. 4 ways, 5-15 in the middle. 6-6-6.
The number of the beast.
Yeah, not the prettiest of flops. John.
Unless you're a Satanist, then you're just in heaven right now.
Yeah.
Nerd hell.
I
You're
say
in
they're-
hell
so they're
right
definitely not in
now.
heaven. So Ace King gonna fire at it. Looks to be around 200, 125. John gonna call. He's the only one with a full house at the moment. And Roger with some devious look in his eyes. Gonna let it go. I think that's for the best. And Justin gonna let it go as well.
Trying to listen to the devil on his shoulder, but
765 going to the turn. The 10 of diamonds. Firing again. Looked to be 300 and change. 375, yeah. And John with a quick call of his own, I believe. Oh, John led for 375. I'm sorry. And now Bastion in a rough spot, gonna make the fold. John's been putting in these leads a lot more lately, and they've been working out in some spots. Unfortunately, against Roger in the early going, it did not.
let's see if John G recovers. Took a
Big beat.
pretty yeah, for these kind of games, like it's just tough to get away from that spot. David Pratt says says we're allowed to start over with new names. I'm going to quote Tom Brady. You know,
You could just say GOAT, but I guess that's one way to put it.
yeah, they're wow. I'm trying to think, we have to have at least in the ballpark kind of policy as far as name entering here into the action tracker. Like, I'm switching around a little bit, but we can't be like, okay, I'm Obama. You know, like that becomes kind of cause for concern.
So we've definitely had issues with that at some other streams that I've seen. So probably for the
Yeah,
best to-
that's why we're trying to perfect our process, but also not get too crazy here. As
For sure.
we've got Air Gordon with a raise up to 75. Bastion here with ace 9, and Roger just like, you know what? Jack 5 offsuit's good enough to be the fourth one into this.
King 7 deuce, 2 clubs and a spade. Gordon top pair, second best kicker. C betting half pot 150. John gonna be the only one that continues if I had to take a guess. And to a turn we go, 605 in the middle. Gordon only 4K deep to start this one off. Another deuce.
Opens up some opportunities,
Yes.
but
And looks to be a big bet coming in. Something around 420. If I had to guess. Exactly 420. Gordon,
Nice.
a man of fine taste. And John actually going to find the fold. I like that fold. Him and Gordon have a lot of history. You can hear them bantering across the entire Palms room whenever they're here. So,
yeah, that's he's probably realizing it's just way more likely that it's going to be a better king in some of these spots. So
yeah. King 7 deuce deuce. It is difficult to find the bluffs. That is for sure. Got to be getting very, very ambitious.
So, got some mixed shows coming up to Wednesday, the PLO 25. It'll be with the Poker Gypsy, Matthew Marvin. He's been on a bunch of different streams. And going to have Ladies Night next Tuesday. Poker Face Ash, Ebony Kenny, Caitlin, super producer Carolyn's going to be in the house. I think Sherry's also going to be here. And we'll see who else is going to be playing in the Ladies Night game on Tuesday. Then that following Wednesday, I believe, is going to potentially be another drunk poker night with Conrad, and I think SETI also going to be in the building, the Poker Travelers. So We've got some exciting shows here to continue to build on.
Those sound like a lot of fun. Those ladies, they know how to go after it.
That's
they're
not
the
going to
action
be
ladies.
a passive table or
No.
any stuff like that. Is going to be a really nice game. So
Yeah, and then I actually saw Conrad last time I was in Vegas. He's always down for a good time. Him and I imagine Sam gets in there and SETI. That's going to be a fun table.
yeah, we proposed maybe that's a night to do drunk poker, but I also want to make sure that, hey, if Conrad, you're going to be doing a meetup game the following day, like, I know you're a beast, but, like, drunk poker takes a lot out of you, so we'll
Yes.
just, maybe it's buzzed. It should be, like, buzzed poker instead of...
Yeah, instead of 2 shots every other, what was it, every
Yeah,
orbit?
just moderately pace yourself, drunk poker.
Yeah,
Okay.
just like every hour, have a beer, or just
Yeah,
have
exactly.
have a
Like
single
it's
shot.
you can still have fun, but we can't go for quite. All right, we've got a really nice battle developing here between Roger and John D. As Ace Queen, I think, wound up floating this flop, and then
Yeah, Roger called out of the big blind and led the Jack 3-6. Got a call and then led again on turn, and Ace Queen found the fold. Roger's going after it. That's
Ah, no
all
kidding.
Yeah, he's just trying to win every pot. I would, in general, not expect the lead. I think a check raise can be appropriate, but leading is not how I would.
all right,
That's
we have got an interception thrown by Mr. Derek Carr of the Oakland Raiders. As Baltimore, I think, going to start after they change possession around the 45, 50-yard line. And, that ball partially deflected as it's kind of a do-or-die year for your boy Carr with the Raiders. He either sinks or swims. And they're going to say that one hit the ground. So I got a little over-exuberant for apparently no reason, but not much happening else otherwise in this Monday Night Football game. And a lot of stuff happening, though, in this cash game. Good gracious, as we've had some great action. Only like 40 minutes into this bad boy.
A lot of big pots. So I think we had the 40 on this hand. Rhonda opened early position, king queen suited. Roger in the small blind with the call, and John completing. Now the nut flush draw for Rhonda, but she decides to check, and it checks through. Turn queen of diamonds. She now has second pair with a flush draw. John turns the diamond draw, but folds to Rhonda's bets.
I guess too, another one of those situations out of position that it's one of those things. If you hit your card, do you really get some value on it? And that's the second. Oh my God, Sammy Von Kendall here in the chat saying drunk poker is back next week. So
Perfect.
all right, Conrad, we're gonna have an awfully damn good time then. Continue live at the Palms Monday Night 5:10 edition.
We got the 20 live from Mr. John D. Couple early folds. Seems to be a lot of the same faces in the early action. Roger's going after it. John G seems to be in a bit of it. Rhonda here and there. I want to see the action spread out,
Yeah, you want to kind of deviate it around, like it's Jay Wen versus Justin or something like that. But these games always have these weird flows to it, where it just in these 4-hour cash games, it just tends to be dispersed through like 3 or 4 players, and that's how the action flows through. Eric Gordon going to go ahead and put the aggressive 3-bet to 475 out of the small blind.
Roger folding ace-5 suited in position. I'm just going to say I'd prefer that to be a call over the 10-7. That's it. That's all I'm going to say.
That you're waiting what now?
No, I said I'd rather him call that than the 10-7.
Yeah,
Ace-high suited I think is a pretty good call in that spot. You got wheel draw, you got a flush draw, got ace-high. Gordon's already 3-bet you once. I think you can peel it.
Yeah, I'd go along with that. That's the 10-7 offsuit just maybe a little bit too spicy for my taste. Mixed game Mike from Rounders Live Wave headed back to SA, but it was really great to check out the setup. Sorry to get to meet you, Mike. Didn't want to interrupt you after it got underway. I'm sorry. Well, I'm never too busy to be bothered, to be honest. But I am kind of in my own head a lot, like pre-show, because trying to manage the madness here and just go through a routine and like we got to get game day ready here. As all right, we've got Roger is game day ready every day. It seems as.
Yeah, 3-bet in the pocket, 10s from the cutoff. Trey gonna open and call the king 9 suited to a 4x raise. They're both very deep. We've got ace, jack, deuce, all spades. Roger with the only spade, waiting on the
Scanning.
yeah scanner to pick it up.
Jim K pointing out the Las Vegas Raiders not. Of course, yeah, it's old habits die hard. It's still.
Yeah, we gotta wait for the Cleveland Guardians to make their way into.
Yeah.
Oh, ace, jack, deuce, 2 clubs and a spade. I apologize.
The Washington Football Giants, the whatever they're going to become, the constituents. All right, we got scanned though, but
Perfect. 5 of spades on the turn. Checking through, and the backdoor spade draw gets in. No one's gonna put in a bet post flop, and Roger will take it down.
pretty good action here for. I mean, we like 45 minutes into this, and we've probably had like 3 or 4 like highlight reel quality hands. Try to get a few of those up more this week. So make sure to click subscribe, turn on notifications. We've got a couple of good ones lined up and some good shows. We will be here typically Mondays and Wednesdays, and then either Thursday or Saturday. I don't think it would be but there can be some good weeks there that I might put in like a 4-show volume. You get the people to come on out.
Rhonda with ace king again, and they're really going. She's 3K deep, opens to 100. And some folds around the table. John looking down at king queen suited. I can't imagine him folding. And nor should he. He's gonna put in the call. Roger deciding to let the rest of the table win a hand.
It's awfully kind of him for at least for the time being.
Yeah. He's gonna take one off. We've got a call out of 6-7 of diamonds in the small blind, and Bastion gonna fold his big blind. 3 ways to the flop, 3-10 in the middle, 8-6 deuce, all spades, not a spade amongst the 3, and I expect this to get checked through. It does. 4 of hearts on the turn. John D with some options. I'm gonna choose to check. Rhonda bets 200 into 310. John G gonna make the fold. John D with some options now. This is a difficult bluff catch, and he is going to let it go. And Rhonda gonna take that one down. She's on the grind back up after the early hits.
Pretty good stocks here. Again, John G, Roger are players above about 10,000. And driving a heck of a lot of the action. As David Pratt here in the chat, fun fact, Mike's contract requires a crystal bowl of green M&Ms and a perfectly arranged assortment of only the finest European cheeses in the green room before every show. Yep, I've also requested some incense be burned just as like a kind of a spiritual process that we do for about 10 minutes to, somebody told me it cleanses the soul. I've not quite fully wrapped my head around.
So you could ask Iris about that one. I think she
I mean,
probably
there's
has
a lot of people on staff here. I think they can
some
break down
insight.
that process
Yeah.
more spiritually for me, but
In the meantime, we're just going to enjoy the nice smell and let it relax us. John G opening king 10 suited, early position. We had the $20 straddle and another fold through. John getting all the respect in the early stages. Pre-flop.
now we got a 35-yard touchdown run by Tyson Williams, the now replacement running back after seemingly everybody in the running back room for Baltimore got hurt in the preseason. And this could be an eerie sign to come here for the Raiders, but that's a hell of a nice-looking run as got tripped up on one of the 3 times. And football is back, folks. I'm just happier. There's a peacefulness to my soul that now we can go back to arguing about Cowboys defense, biggest bust and all that kind of stuff, and get us back to the right kind of distractions we thrive on as a society. All right, we've got what looks like
The 80 going 5, 10, 20, 40, 80 from Roger. Pocket 4 is going to open it up to 225 from the button. Couple of folds coming in. Got John G with some thoughts. Gonna make the fold with 8-5 of clubs. And Roger gonna fold the Jack 3 offsuits.
All right.
Gonna take it down.
Yeah, I believe this is our second ever edition of 510 Cash. We had the debut episode when we had Berkey and Lynn and Ebony Kenny. See Ebony again in our Ladies Night stream next Tuesday. Poker Face Ash and Caitlin, super producer Carolyn. There's probably another name or two that I'm not 100% aware of yet, but as of the top of my head, I'm like, that's already a pretty damn good lineup here. That should be a lot of fun.
Agreed.
Should find, it would be ideal if we could find a lady commentator along with it, but nothing quite says ladies night like two dudes mansplaining poker. You see what she should have done? She should have done. No, that's not the Temple one thing. We got a hand here though. John D, not John G, but John D with a raise up to 150. Rhonda just going to call in position on the button with Ace King.
That's another just call pre-flop with Ace King. I would definitely prefer to see the aggression, get some value, build some pots, especially when we're this deep in the 5-10 streets. Bet 200 from John, raise to 450, really small raise. I think that is a little bit smaller than we would like to go, but it gets the job done. John just gonna let it go.
Again, Omaha Wednesday is. I haven't had any really complex that was a tough. Like there's been some. I don't know, kind of some hands that just have kind of played themselves out here for the most part for the first hour of this. I believe we'll probably go to either like 10:30 or maybe 11. I don't know. Maybe if we just kind of pump up all these rookie numbers here, we might have the opportunity to go longer. So. Wait for it. Damn it. Terrible timing here today.
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
Yes. Got a different computer, so I've had to do some porting over of some of all your guys' favorite sound bites. By all means, make your requests. And I can try to accommodate as best as we can.
All right. Ace King suited for Air Gordon under the gun. John D with the call, Rhonda with the call with Ace Jack. 8-6 off from Trey on the button, gonna call. And Roger, who was in the $20 straddle with 10-9 offsuit, gonna make the call. 10-3-3 rainbow. And I expect this to check around a good portion of the time. Really difficult to take stabs in 5-way pots, just in general. Turn 9, top 2 for Roger. Feeling good. Hearts coming in on the backside. Looks to be a check through again. John could potentially bet with his turned open ender. And he chooses to do so. Bets 300 into 390. Really big bet. My preference in these spots is to go a bit smaller, just due to how difficult it is to respond to bets in the first place. Roger looking to put in a check raise to 850. My apologies. And John with not much of an idea of where he's at. He's in position, so he has that going for him. They're very deep. We got 6K behind. But it's really difficult to know exactly what's going on. He's going to find the call. 2.1K in the middle. And the river is the deuce of clubs. Roger Yeah, with the best of it, top 2. And John gonna try and find a way to win this. He's going to fold to the large bet from Roger. It looks like $2.3 thousand.
Yeah, John D just missed on absolutely everything, but
Yeah, he had plenty of outs, king, queen, jack, or 8, and could not get there.
Jim K is like, yes, asking, are we on a 30-minute delay? That is correct. So we've got producer Sonny sequestered into the special production zone. We don't allow, we tackle anybody who tries to go near it. Like, I mean, I've seen people get put through, like Terry Tate, office linebacker, to try to go into this. And we are safely secured in the even further back Palm Social studio, watching this here with you, like on a 30-minute delay. So that way we don't necessarily have to be the phone police. We can allow players to really kind of have that full experience as they would if they were playing here in Palms. And with the cup holders as well, as I think it's nice to be able to enjoy the game. So I hope that you guys have the opportunity here in the future to play on this live stream here at Palm Social. What do we got? We got Trey with ace queen, John G with ace 5 of diamonds out of the small blind, Air Gordon with a call.
4 ways, 300 in the middle. King 7-3, 2 hearts and 1 diamond. Trey with the ace of hearts. He's gonna have the option to continue the aggression if he wants to. He chooses to check back. Queen of hearts, one of the best turns in the deck for his hand. Now is a nut flush draw and a pair. Turns most of the field dead outside of Gordon. Now bets 200. Gonna be folds from the other 2. Gordon with the decision. I expect a fold here, a decent percent. But he's gonna find the call. 700 in the middle. 9 of hearts on the river. Trey now with the nuts.
Wow.
And Gordon gonna check it over. I would want to see a pretty small bet here from Trey, targeting a pretty weak range from Gordon. He's gonna bet 6 into 7 and get the fold. To be fair, Gordon was calling exactly $0. So.
Yeah, there's maybe a $5 bet, and even then he's gonna have some pause. So yeah. Trey, winner there. As we see people come on in and come on out and checking us out here at Palm Social in Austin, Texas, located 9070 Research Boulevard, Suite 105. We've got a new member promotion. If you've never played here at Palm Social, again, that is a free 1-month membership on us and 3 hours of free play. So if you've been looking for any other reason just to come on down here to Palm Social, or maybe it's been an enormous amount of time since the last time you've come on through, have it come check us out here at the Crossroads Shopping Center. Plenty of good parking, a lot of good food around, and a great experience here in the most beautiful room in Austin, Texas. We've got actually, we had like a 20, I think they're $40 double straddle put out.
Yes, early position, limp from Bastion, call from Gordon, call from Justin, and John D gonna check. I think I would have raised Gordon's hand personally, but maybe the limp deterred him a little bit. King 5-9, two-tone, Bastion with second pair, gonna bet 90 into 165, and looks to get folds all the way around.
Yeah, small pot there, but the straddles looming here tonight on Live at the Palms. There's some decent chatter going on out here. I'm trying to think of who's on the Live at the Palms account right now that's doing a little bit. We got your boy Anderson. Anderson stepping on up and playing in our 1-2 game on Saturday night. So I called him Manderson. Let's see. all of our favorite chat pros joining us here. Make sure to click subscribe, hit the like if you've not done so yet. As we keep it going. Here in our 8th episode. Gonna really try to make a conscious effort to remember all this. 'Cause the other show, like, we just started getting into numbers, and I just lost complete track of. I think it'll be a little bit more easier to keep a beat on some of these. So, all right, we've got a button opened by Roger. What it looks like up here to 110.
Got the 5, 10, 20, and I don't know if that's the button or the small blind game. I wish we had a way to find that out.
Yeah, is that just a burger button, or?
I assume it's small blind game, if I had to guess. We got John D 3-betting King Queen suited out of the straddle. And Roger gonna be defending the Queen Deuce suited. So it may just be the button game, and he wants that 25.
It's a possibility. We may find more answers after this hand. So 10, 5, 4. Misses both players. Backdoors, I guess, potentially for the flush draws, but
yeah, John D, definitely has the best of it with 2 overs and some backdoor straight possibilities. Going to continue pretty large. Looks like 575. Looks to be a one and done from him. He's going to be betting once, maximizing the folds, and then giving up unimproved. It's going to work against the Queen Deuce. And the money on the button stays, so we still don't know.
we have questions. Hopefully we will get an answer. I think I need some water. I sound like I just... invite you to follow us on Instagram. Again, Palm Social 512. Open here on Saturdays. Come out and watch college football with us here at Palm Social. And big streams coming on up. And this cash game has certainly not disappointed us in any way whatsoever. There's been a lot of chips flying around. Okay, is that chili? What do we got there for Rhonda? Like, I think not crystal clear on what's exactly in that tub right now. It looks delicious, though.
And we've got the 40 coming out while she's eating. If that's not strength, I don't know what is.
Yeah, that's an ominous sign. The comfort of having some food on you, then being able to just toss out a straddle. Like, that's power.
Yes. I definitely got by that last week. It's the eat 3-bet. And turns out he had nothing, but what are you going to do? You just got to trust your read, and sometimes you're wrong.
Kidding.
Early position raise from Trey. So 5, 10, 20, 40, raised to 175. That's rather large for the average. Generic open has been around 125. Gordon going to find the call on the button with ace-7 of clubs. Folds around to Bastion in the straddle. Finds the fold, and Rhonda, king-9 offsuit, going to complete. And we go to a flop. 560 in the middle, 3 ways. Ace 4, ace 8 4, sorry, rainbow. 8 of clubs out there instead of the 3 of hearts. That looks to be the burn. Check to Trey, bets 200 into 560. I like the size. We've got a lot of backdoor possibilities for him with that 8 of clubs. The actual turn is the king of hearts. So 4 ace 8s of clubs, king of hearts. Gordon with top pair, 960 in the middle. Betting 425. And Trey looks to be giving it up. And a nice one going over to Mr. Gordon, Mr. Air Gordon himself.
Air Gordon, and yeah. Pretty steady night for him. Pretty rock solid for the most part. It's just been kind of hitting the right boards, and so trying to get the good word out there. At Palm Social website, palmsocialclub.com. Again, your hourly here, like $12 an hour. Again, my name is Mike Jungblut, the dude talking, joined here by Aaron McInnes. I said, like, I need somebody smart that's studying this, that is really getting after it, and I've had some good shows. Been bringing the heat here tonight. There's hopefully you get some entertainment, and also hopefully get some maybe some slight educational value here in the art of Texas poker here. Now we've got Floorman and Dealer Matt coming on in here for this next round. I haven't seen any bomb pots yet, so maybe this is just going to be a strict hold'em game. Would be my best guess that if we've not seen them yet,
Probably not gonna happen.
and that might be good for the purists out there. That it's hold'em, it's 2 cards. It's the only thing I want to watch. Hold'em and Garrett Adelstein. I can't make any promises on the latter, but.
So we've got the $20 straddle, 7-5 suited, open from tray under the gun, and folds to the big blinds. I'm gonna make the call Jack 8 offsuits. Rhonda putting in a raise, 2 red kings to $200. Prefer slightly larger, but it's a very good start to the size. Trey gonna find the call, and curious to see what Bastion does. He's going to find the discipline laydown despite getting a good price. 455 in the middle, heads up. Rhonda, the initial raiser pre-flop. Jack 10, 3, no clubs. Trey has not a hope in the world, and Rhonda's gonna take it down.
Yeah, no hope. Zilch. Alright, what else do we got going on? Again, PLO Wednesday. We're still kind of in the early stages of this cash game. I think there's not been... Roger was really trying to apply some pressure for a while, and now he's kind of stepped off, so... You're just waiting for that next moment for somebody to decide to take a big left hook or big right hook, and... even maybe pump this game up into another direction. There's been kind of not much going on for J1. Like, I haven't really mentioned him too much tonight. He had her here and there, but you know, for the most part, pretty steady. And
speak of the devil, and he will be dealt a hand. Jack 10 of spades. Very nice hand under the gun. Opens to 75. If it folds through, that would be pretty poetic. But John D's gonna flat King 9 offsuits on the button. And Trey Jack 5 of diamonds in the straddle, gonna complete. 3 ways, 240 in the middle. Jaywin with the aggression pre-flop. 5 for deuce, 2 spades. Jaywin with a flush draw and Trey with top pair. John with a backdoor flush draw. Turn queen of spades. Gonna produce a little bit of action. Jaywin now with the flush. And John with the second nut flush draw. 240. Jaywin's gonna bet an amount, $100. And John with the snap fold. Trey with the quick call. Drawing dead. And river is the 4 of spades. John D actually would have won this hand if he had stayed in, but it's gonna go check, and Jaywin just checks it back. He's gonna take it down.
Nice hand there for Jaywin. We'll see if that kind of starts some of the upswing here for him. All right, let's check back here into the chat. It's been a little bit of good ball busting up and down here as Jim K says, I fell in love with bomb pots the first time I played one of them. David Pratt also chiming in that discipline play and bomb pots can make you insane amounts of money. Like, I think it is. I haven't seen anything definitively put out there about bomb pot strategies, so I think the only generalizations I ever make are just like lock up one side and try to find part on another, depending on I think what game that you're on. But
I actually heard rumors that good friends of Palm, Solve for Why, and their new product, Poker Out Loud, is going to have bomb pots
Oh,
on the newest
really?
season. So that'll be really interesting for those of us in Texas that want to learn a little bit about what great players think about them and how they would play them themselves.
I would think the people that have the most adaptability to it have either played some kind of split pot game to understand about isolating with one side and what kind of hands are just disincentivized to call once the pots start getting to a certain amount. We got a hand here though. So top two it looks like for Justin, Rhonda with backdoor hearts, John D with the gutter ball.
Yes, Justin with the pre-flop betting lead, going to continue 300 into 605. It's going to be a half pot bet. And it's going to go full fold. And on that type of a board, that's honestly not the worst thing that happens. There's a lot of changes that happen between turn and river. And taking it down is...
Yeah, sometimes just like the best scenario. Just like, okay, I will take this before this gets a little out of hand. David said, I do not want people to learn how to play bomb pots. Like, I don't think anybody does learn, though. I think it is still such an action-creating game that you can give people advice. You can give them theories, but each board and each hand, the fact that if you just have 9 players into it, all of a sudden becomes like such an unconventional way to try to hand read because you just don't know.
Everyone has everything.
Yeah, and you don't know how specifically somebody values a hand that might just love like a 9 high flush draw and PLO if it has 2 pair on one board versus, you know, some people that are way more snug that are just like not going to commit too much money with weak hands that could potentially just get cooler. So, all right, we got a 225 open by K-Rock Bastion or Rhonda. Also, we're going to make the call. We'll see who else is going to carry on with this. This does not look like John G. Got the glasses on. Trying to look down at the phone. He's probably smashing that like button. I bet that's what he's doing right now.
Yeah, so we had the $40 double straddle on. Rhonda and Bastion with the same hand. Gonna chop if it gets to showdown, but I imagine that doesn't happen too often. Rhonda just gonna find the fold on the flop. Nice, simple pot for K-Rock Bastion.
See if we get another big round of straddles happening, and gotten up to like 80. That's the biggest that we've seen so far tonight. Not impossible to see that continue to get bigger, but we will at least have the 20 put on by Roger. David Proud here with some insight. The key to win, just be good enough to flop quads and then make a boat on the other one on the turn. You know, if you can do that, man, you've mastered the game for the most part. It's just...
Agreed.
Just make huge hands and then just pray somebody else has something with 9 players. That's bound to happen.
Alrighty, we've got the 20 on 2 limps. Jaywin and John complete, and Roger's going to check it up. I think both Jaywin and John could have tried to isolate their hands. John G going to flop top trips, or second top trip, sorry. Jack 9 with 2 clubs. Trey with the 3 of clubs as the only one out in the field. $100 in the pot. Checks through to the turn. 6 of clubs out there. John gonna put some money in the pot now. Bets 100 into 100. And I imagine this is just gonna fold all the way through.
Yeah. I think anyone connected to this that would want to even chase. Yeah. Even $5 out of this pot. There's John G trying to get his run going, but get no help here from any of his friends here on the Felt of Dreams, Palm Social, Austin, Texas. Mike Jungblut here with Aaron McInnes. Says, bring you 5, 10 cash game, 2-5 PLO. To be determined what we'll have Saturday, but aiming for 3 to sometimes maybe 4 shows a week, depending on the circumstances, but couple of big streams next week again. It's Tuesdays. Ladies Night with Poker Face Ash, Ebony Kenny, Caitlin Kmetsky, and more. As Conrad Simpson also going to be here with us for Drunk Poker next Wednesday. Should be a lot of fun. You can drink along with us, and I stayed sober for the first one. I feel like now the second I gotta pump it up a little bit.
You gotta join in.
Yep, at least just partially.
We got John D opening to 75 under the gun 1. K-Rock Bastion with the call next to act. Queen Jack and Jack 10 suited respectively. Gordon gonna find A6 of spades in the straddle. Gonna complete 240 in the pot. And John D flops the nut straights. K-Rock Bastion top pair and an open ender. And Gordon with a gut shot to the bottom end with a backdoor flush draw. John gonna bet 150 into 240. Pretty dynamic texture. Big bets make sense to try and price out the draws or max their value. 3 of hearts now. Bastion turns a flush draw to go along with his open ender and top pair. He's feeling nice. This is unfortunately the one hand that he's behind, and very much so. John continues for 300 into 540. It would not surprise me to see a raise from K-Rock Bastion, but he's just going to smooth call in position. And 1.1k in the middle. King of hearts on the river. The backdoor flush comes through. John flopped straight, no good. I'm curious to see what happens in this spot. Looks to be a bet from John. Deciding how much. They are both just under $5,000 effective. That's a big bet. Looks like 1.5 thousand. 1.4. 1.4 into 1.1 with the flop nut straight that was beaten on the river by the backdoor flush. And to this size, Bastion's gonna be in a tough spot. It's unlikely that you're beat, but how often do you get called by worse? Is the only question he's asking himself.
I guess you can attempt to maybe min raise, but the call seems more like the real option. As John D probably wondered, like, what were you waiting for? But it's also so much strength being signified that it has to give him at least a little bit of pause. That potentially, it's not impossible to have somebody like ace 7 of hearts or something like that.
Yeah. The other hand is like queen 9 of hearts maybe. So it's a pretty slim range of hands that beat you, but a hand like Queen Jack doesn't feel great to a raise, or will most likely not call a raise. So I think I would have gone for the jam personally, but understanding that you don't get called very often is a part of it. We've got the 40 live now, 5, 10, 20, 40 double straddle. Bastion gonna fold under the gun. And Trey gonna put in 125. It's 4-5 offsuits. And we'll see if it gets through.
Yeah, I don't see anybody with anything that wants to, unless the John D does.
Nope, 4-5 gets it done.
So Trey.
Aggression wins. It's even to this day.
Ironically, here Trey on the Hold'em stream, where I know he's a heck of a PLO player, so we'll get him out there in some of those 4-card games that we have here. We'll have a PLO highlight reel dropping tomorrow from last week's 2-5 game, another 2-5 game slated here for Wednesday. And all right, so it looks like just gonna stay at a 20 straddle, 5-10 night. It's been very, very good, great action. A lot chips being thrown in, and a lot of big premium hands having to mix it up, and probably the Kings versus 10-7 hand was probably the more interesting out of all the ones that we saw, but you have Ronda with a big hand right off the bat, and that's set up here for a great night here of poker at Palm Social.
Yeah. Roger is abusing the button, and I respect it. Anytime you're in position, if you want to put money in the pot, the button is the one time where you can make it happen. You can just get all the decisions post-flop. Not much more.
Yeah, there's not much more to that. It's just sometimes
if you're gonna play all the trashy hands, have the button. I think that's the easiest way to do it.
So it looks like Ronda's going to put on the double here to 40 as...
And everyone back at the table. Trey, Jack 5 of diamonds. Into the muck. Let's see if we can get some real hands out there.
Big John spitting wisdom here, I'm sure.
John is one of my favorite people to have at the table these days. Great time. Very intelligent. Eric Gordon looking down at the Rockets. Pocket aces on the button.
Name your price there, Eric Gordon. Is going to make it 125. The dream here. Aces on the button as...
And K-Rock Bastion, King Queen offsuit in the first straddle. Going to make the call. And a Ronda 9 Triz. Gonna hit the muck.
Unbelievable. How could you, Ronda? It's a hunt. No, I'm kidding, obviously. Oh, I would have fought and hop and bottom, but nothing for K-Rock Bastion on this.
I'm gonna expect a small bet from Gordon. And K-Rock Bastion gonna find the floats. 405, sorry, 505 in the middle. To the turn at 9. 9 Triz was
unbelievable.
Good. This is unreal.
So we've tried to tell you for years about the power of this hand, but nobody wants to listen.
Turn 275 from Gordon. I like the bet. K-Rock Bastion is going to most likely choose to raise as a bluff or fold. I see very few reasons to call. And he chooses the latter. Lets it go.
Yeah.
Aces take it down. As they
Every once in a while, you'll see somebody there just gets the blood and lust in their eyes to go attack. And yeah, there's very few calls that exist, I think, in that particular set of circumstances. All right, Raiders trying to challenge the jump ball. That was a big time. Oh, my God. I have never seen so many flags on the field since the Olympics. That guy basically piled the Hunter Renfro right into the turf here at the beautiful Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas, Nevada. Maybe the Raiders got a chance to inch back into this game. John McInnes says never float with King High. I mean, I'd say never, but for the most part.
I think in poker it's very difficult to find nevers.
Yeah,
but there are a lot of instances in which most of the time is appropriate.
Yeah, there are a few very absolutes, but it's also a lot of good rules to follow or good methods to subscribe to.
All right, Queen 9 suited open from the hijack from Roger. Justin, Ace King offsuit on the button. Just gonna flat again. That's the third time tonight. I don't know what it is. People just don't like 3-betting.
They just all of a sudden go, I'm just getting taken right back over the top. So
yeah, I don't get it. So top 2 for Roger. 91% equity. Justin has 2 overs and a backdoor flush draw. In position, 150 into 285. Got a good size bet, but I think your hand is strong enough to make the call. 585 in the middle. Turn 3 of clubs. Now 6 outs live for Justin.
that is not going to hold him back here, so it goes for the bet.
Roger betting again 500 into just under 7, if I remember correctly. Justin with a decision now. Getting just over 2 to 1 on a call. I would not hate a raise here. And he goes for it.
Oh, there it goes.
We've got 1,400. Good size. I like it. Roger now in a tough spot. They have, if he calls, pot is 33, I believe. And Justin will have just under 6 back on river. So a tough spot on the turn. Roger with a really strong holding in this spot, but no blockers to the flush.
I guess if he's sitting there saying, like, the only real logical hands that would do this with that I beat, or specifically the hand that Justin has here, where it's just naked ace of clubs, which...
There aren't that many of.
No, there's only one of them last time I checked. I mean,
yeah. Well, more like the specific, like, only one club hands. It's like ace-jack offsuit, maybe ace-queen offsuit sometimes. So, compared to all the suited aces and the 6-7 suiteds out there, there's a lot of different flush combos and very few single club hands. So, I get the fold. I think it's a little tight, but recognizing that another big barrel is coming on the river does not make it any easier.
Yeah, it all of a sudden really puts you out there in a no man's land. But there ain't no laws when you're drinking claws, and there is some claw-on-claw violence here tonight. I think those are the only two gentlemen here going with the old black cherry or wild berry. I've weaved my way in and out of White Claws and just kind of stuck more to whiskey, but bourbon, but
all reliable.
I feel less stomach issues after some of those. Like, some of those seltzers, just like you have a bunch from... all right, we've got an $80 raise, or 105 raise. A call here by Trey. Aaron, let's see a flop.
Do it. Heads up, 220 in the middle. This is in a straddled pots. Trey, the caller, gonna flop top pair. K-Rock bashing gonna continue. And Trey with just a call. Turn king of diamonds. K-Rock bashing gonna like that for his hand. Turn flush draw. Trey now has trips. K-Rock bashing is gonna bet very large, 525 into around 7. I think this is gonna be just a call down from Trey. Maybe some river raises, depending on what comes. And we've got the 6 of spades. I think this is a really strong bluff candidate from K-Rock Bastion. And he's going for it. 1.2? 1.1.
1.1.
And Trey, just gonna stick the rest in or find a raise size around probably 2.53.
Yeah, I mean, you're only concerned with, like, King 7, and I just don't think it's realistic to expect that.
There's a large
you have
raise.
a ton to be concerned about.
Yeah, the hands that lead you to are quads and the King 7. That is a 3.2k raise. Sebastian recognizes that he stepped in it. I like the line. It is just unfortunate that Trey had the hand to win.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the candidates of hands that when he targets, he's getting to fold out, so it's...
Yeah, I think if you want to get like the club draws that are still there, you need to be betting a little smaller on river. Because a king is obviously not folding, a 6 is obviously not folding, so you're targeting a much smaller range. I think a smaller bet accomplishes similar to the big bet, but costs a lot less. And he's still thinking.
I think for posterity's sake, like, it just... You get yourself here into these spots, like... I think players are reluctant to just show like, hey, you caught me on a fib here, but so sometimes it's just part of it. I just feel like is I'm making it look like I guess it's the Hollywood here, as David Pratt would say. It just, oh, I have aces here, and oh, how can I be beat? But eventually we can find the full button, and still a decision to act, and there we go. We will press the fold. There's a winner there for Trey. What's up?
Can you mute? Or am I muted?
Yeah, I can turn your mic down. Yeah, sure. The water would be great. All right, I'm going to step out here for a moment. I probably step out when he comes back, but as we continue live at the Palms and Palm Social in Austin, Texas. Great night for us here. Monday night, 5-10, no limit on capped, and a lot of stocks on the table here. Every chip flying around, some big premium hands. All that you could ask for here on our new live stream. This is episode number 8. Check out our full archive. We've got a playlist full of all the highlight reels, so if you've missed anything along the way, get a good glimpse of what we have happening here. And, you know, for our sake, we ask that you subscribe. Help us again build up our viewership. Allow us to spread the good word.
Hey, Gordon, has John ever been rude to me at the table? I don't think so. I was like, Gordon may answer this question genuinely.
I'm sure he has.
Gordon has never that's your
Five bolts. Yes, we have a live one.
Yeah, John's such a nice guy.
Raise.
Gordon, I want you to know that he's watching only to study.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, Trey raise.
Just what I need.
7 bolts. 8 bolts.
All right, we got the next hand here. Trey now raising up here to 350. Looks like Roger thinking about calling out of the straddle here for 250 more.
I can't remember. Maybe sometime.
Does, yep, okay. No, wow, he's going to come back over the top here. 3-bet to 1,500 with Queen 3 suited. And see now here with Trey is going to be out of position on this hand, but I think if he's paid attention and seen what's happened here, that oh, wait, I got to turn your mic back on. Yeah, right back up here. So this is probably like a razor full situation. He's going to show it to him there that he knew that something squirrely was up. And nice re-rates here by Roger. All right, next stand. Here on live at the Palms.
More straddles back at it. We got the 40 live this time, courtesy of Roger.
It's a wonderful feeling to be on the field, isn't it?
Live 40 coming around.
Air Gordon doesn't have aces, so he's going to find the fold. We've got folds to the small blind, Trey with the raise in, with pocket tens to 150. And action on Roger, putting in back-to-back raises to 625, this time with ace-10 offsuit. Trey has a hand that will be continuing. I think now he just decides how to do so. It's a recall or a 4-bet. And he's going to smooth call. Heads up. Tens versus ace 10. Roger with the betting lead.
Oh.
Jack 10-5. Flush draw. No hearts out there. Trey with middle set. And patience is going to get him paid in this spot.
Wait for the moment when the most aggressive player comes after you. Well, you've got pretty rock solid hand. Opportunity here for Trey if he does not shush him away from this here, as that's most likely what's going to happen, is Roger will actually have the opportunity to walk away from this.
Yeah, that is a big raise. So from 450 c-bet, good 1/3 pot sizing, up to a raise of, I believe, 1450 or 1500, somewhere around there. Instantly, Trey coming in with the aggression. If there is a call, it would be around 4.2, with Trey having 5.8 behind.
Oh, wow. He is still going to continue here past this point. So 4.2k built up. What do we get on the turn? As, oh, it's a queen. Does give Roger a little bit of hope here. Gutter ball here to a king. See if this freezes Trey for a moment.
Trey checks, potentially concerned with Roger's ace-king. And Roger now needs to decide how to proceed. He's got 1.5 pots behind on Trey's side to work with. And he chooses the passive option, checks back.
Hit it!
King of clubs on the river. That was nasty.
Roger makes a straight. This may give Trey the opportunity.
I think Trey loses no more money, though, in this
Yep.
spot. Roger has all the bigger sets available to him and all the ace highs as well. Really unfortunate. Run out here, and 1.8 into 6. I think he needs to bet even smaller if he wants to get a call. Potentially something like 1,000. And Trey looks to... He hates life right now. That's all I'm gonna say. He makes
It's literally after the guy
makes a
had
call.
shown him the queen 3 of diamonds bluff out of the straddle. Like, it's just literally the next hand, and
That's nasty.
I guess Trey could have in mind that maybe there are some two pairs that I don't know, boy. That's a really tricky one once you get into the river and the pot size is built up that much that. Oh boy, Mixin Poker checking in saying hell yeah, Roger. Howdy chat. Looks like a great game tonight. John saying wow, that turn check cost him. I guess so. I mean, that's certainly a possibility that maybe he leads, but it's also, I guess you could maybe expect Ace King to be in the mix in that kind of a scenario. But there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, that's a complex position. I don't think, as Trey, you want to be checking there too often, though. You just have such a strong hand. Ace-King has a difficult time continuing to erase without some sort of backdoor flush possibilities. So I think you bet, and if you get jammed on, you call and hope for the best on the river. John D opens 9-7 of clubs plus 3 to 65. K-Rock Bash next act with red kings. 275 is the raise size. Trey on the button with 5-6 of clubs looking to get in the mix. The revenge range is in play. J1 in a tough spot. Ace Queen offsuit in the small blind. Gonna give it up. It is gonna be the right decision this time around. Cold calling in that spot is generally pretty difficult to maneuver. 3 ways after John calls. 2 suited club hands and red kings. Queen 9-4. No clubs out there. King still best. 860 in the middle. Sebastian gonna continue. 550. Around 2/3 of the pot. John with second pair has a difficult decision. No backdoor straights or flushes available to him. Would not hate a fold, but understand that call.
Looks like John D not going to be a believer here, so... No, then he becomes one, so... K-Rock Bastion getting it done. Had a sick hand earlier against John D, where top pair and a straight draw for K-Rock Bastion versus the flop nut straight that came out running hearts for and that turned into be a monster pot. I think relative to how you could have expected that one maybe going on. All right, we got like 55 seconds left here. First half, Raiders trying to get on the board before they go on in. As they're kind of looking back and forth here between this game and what the heck else is going on. So you can join our chat pros, the legion of chat pros here at Palm Social. Good, healthy discussion here. As pretty great game here for the most part. I didn't know what to expect coming on into this, and everybody please try to bring the heat.
Yeah, back-to-back straddles. John D raising again to 65. K-Rock Bastion just gonna flat the Jack-10 suited this time around. Trey 6-7 offsuit. Oh, he's just folding. Sorry. Jay went on the button. 3 bets, 225. And Roger pocket 4 is gonna cold call out of the big blind. Air Gordon gonna find the fold. And I expect this goes 3 ways. Oh, sorry, 4 ways. Now 925 in the middle, 4-way, 3-bet pot. John looking for some love from Gordon. Queen 8-8, 2 diamonds. No 8s amongst the group. Pocket 4 is still best, but everyone is vying for the pot. Checks Jaywin in a bit of a tough spot. Not holding any diamonds in his hand, putting a bet out there seems difficult, and he decides on a check back. Deuce of diamonds on the turn. 4s are way in the lead now of the field, with the only diamond and 2 pair to its name.
So anybody wants to get a little more ambitious here, that has the best hope, and 4 guys all looking at each other. I don't think it's kind of like being at a 4-way stop sign. Like, who don't you go? Like,
yeah,
it's that just like all it takes is one person to take control of it, and everybody else follows. Is a 10 on the end. So K-Rock Bastion here with a little showdown value. Queen or 10's up with a queen, and unless anybody else decides they want to bluff at it, he's going to be the winner at showdown.
Yeah, if Roger's going to bet, I would definitely have preferred a turn bet. Just due to how nothing changed from flop to turn. As played, it's going to be difficult for Bastion after Roger overbets the pot, 1.5. Yeah, he just snap mucks. And it's going to fold through. So the aggression is going for it.
Shows just one of the 4s.
Aggressive. I like it.
Little did he know he had the best of it going
Bluffing
into
with
the
the
river.
best hand.
And he was still better than 2 of the other players that was matched up with your 4 ways. So it's... Alright, don't forget to hit subscribe, hit like here on the channel as we keep pumping out the good word of Palm Social. Links are in the description if you want to go find our website, our Instagram, or check out any of the rest of our channel. For any of the past other highlights that are yet to come, PLO Wednesday. To be determined if we're gonna be doing one Thursday or Saturday, but we got some nice shows coming up, and I want to make sure that you're here for it. I'm gonna actually step out. I've got to go get my second dose of C4. It is like the spinach, the Popeye for a moment, so I left that in the car. I'll be right back. Need anything?
I'm all good. I appreciate it. So now it is just me running this. Yeah, well, yeah, we got this. John G opens the button. King, queen of diamonds. Roger. Jack 7 suited. Gonna come along. Keep the VPIP alive. 10-9-4. Both flop gut shots. And he is just gonna lead out for 125 into 180. John finds the call. Turn 9 of diamonds. 430 in the middle. Bet again. And John gonna throw it away. So yeah, Roger is going after it this session. I don't know if we have aggression frequency available, but he is definitely the leader on that statistic. We've got an interesting cast of characters. And the game's been a lot of fun. I will not be getting the channel banned, David. I appreciate the advice. That's the second or third time around. First time I gotta keep a good impression. So we've got the $20 straddle on from John D. But yeah, I like these big stack cash games. It's really nice to see how everyone adjusts. Roger is the one person that I can point to that's been using the big sizes, the overbets, the 2x pots. I really appreciate the creativity that Deep Stack Cash provides, and he is using it to the fullest. And Gordon going after him again. He's been relentless with the 3-bets on Mr. Roger. King Queen offsuit again from the small blind to Roger's button open. This time he has a continue with Jack 10 of diamonds. Gonna be $730 in the middle. Heads up to a flop. King 4-3, 2 clubs. Gordon with the king of clubs. And we've got check and a check behind. I'm surprised that Roger didn't stab at this one. And Gordon now has the second nut flush draw, and Roger turns a pair with the 10 of clubs turn. I expect a bet to come out here for some denial. 300 into 730. Sorry, 400, if I see that correctly. Just over half pot. Gordon with a decision. 2 overs and a club draw to the board. And a call from Gordon, who is now out of position without the betting lead. The 3 of clubs brings it. Gordon checks. I don't know how I feel about it. He wins at showdown. That's just the biggest issue in these spots when you're out of position is on river, when you make your hand, you really just like need to lead. Which is why when we've seen some of these like tight, what looks like tight folds with flush draws, I think they're actually for the best a lot of the time. So Gordon takes one down while you're away.
Yeah, that's just kind of what I figured. As soon as I step out, that's where Eric Gordon
Steps in.
begins his ascent. You know?
Hopefully Jaywin's next up. I enjoy watching him play, and he has been rather quiet.
It is his turn. Like, he's overdue just to get mixed up in a splashy one. He's not... Has he had a primo here tonight? I don't think he's had, like, a ace-king, ace-queen pair.
Yeah, I think the best hand he had was ace-jack.
Ugh.
Yeah, nothing. Just nothing.
He's got the 1K blocks out there. Otherwise, we've got the $500 pinks, the $100 blacks, 25 greens, and 5 kind of reddish. I don't know, orange red. Like, how do you describe that pixelation? You know a $5 chip when you see one.
So on the table they are very red, but over here
looks slightly pinkish.
Yeah.
Not unlike the hoodie that you've got on from Palm Social. The special custom one made from our good friend Jennifer out of Peace and Poker.
This is high quality. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, Caitlin's got one too. It's pretty badass. I think it was up on that at Peace and Poker on Instagram.
Yes, definitely check out Jennifer. She's amazing at what she does. If you want to look at it, It's on my Instagram. I think Caitlin and Palm shared it as well. The nice peach palms.
Okay, there. I was like, what? I don't know colors because I'm. All right, what we've got pocket tens is actually going to draw a call here from K-Rock's Bastion in position.
Yeah, this is blind on blind or shadow versus blind. John D with a good hand. Not what you'd expect when you're blind on blind. So now I expect a good size bet, something around 400, 450. Oh, he goes even bigger. He goes 650 into 745. He is trying to get the money from Mr. Bastion, that backdoor to flush on him earlier. So I get it.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably a potential that you're looking at 7-6, pocket fives, ace-6. Like, there's
plenty of hands that can call. This is just not one of them most of the time. Unless Mr. Bastion thinks he is getting bluffed. And he looks like he does not buy what Mr. John D is selling. And Mr. K-Rock Bastion finds the fold. Good fold. John D gonna pick one up.
So Roger's sitting over 20K at this point. John G, kind of a steady rise back up. I think he rebought, but he has been mostly treading around the same point, and we are about like 400 subscribers away from getting to like the 1,000 mark. So once we get to that point and people want to put their personalized super chats and super stickers, then we kind of have the option to do that. So it's not just for unselfish or selfish reasons. Like, it is a way for us to help continue to pump the brand and continue some of the favorite things that we love about streaming poker, which is random super chats that sometimes make us laugh, and an ability to personalize it. As Roger with a raise up here to 125, and gonna get a call here from Justin with pocket5s.com.
Yeah, we got the $40 double straddle out there. K-Rock Bastion with the fold. Rhonda, still not a believer in the 9 triz.
Not yet. Even after the last one
What a cracked
turned
aces.
a boat.
And yeah, what a cracked aces. She just not a believer. We'll get her there one day.
It's just a long, detailed discussion on the power of 9 triz. Like, you get a PowerPoint presentation just to demonstrate.
Yes. And the flop is, I believe, 7 deuce deuce 2 diamonds. That was the burn. That is showing the jack of clubs.
Yeah, every once in a while, the corner of that card might catch the reader, and is
Deuce
so.
deuce 7, 2 hearts. Sorry, 1 heart, 2 diamonds, 3 of clubs, 3 of spades. I'm sorry, on the turn. So Roger with 2 overs to the 5s and the nut flush draw. Justin. Roger dropped his $500 chip in the plot on accident. Was allowed to bet appropriately. Bets 675. Justin in a bit of a tough spot, but when the board is deuce deuce 7-3 like it's supposed to be, makes the call a bit easier. All the diamonds are available. All the big cards are out there. And river coming out. 6 of clubs. Roger going to river the best of it. Deuce, deuce, 7, turn 3, river 6, and ace 6 is going to be the victor at showdown. I think Roger can actually go for some... no, I take it back. There's a lot of 7x in Justin's flats here. But he's going to go for it anyways. 1,100 into 23. Justin should... in a bit of a tough spot, but I expect a fold most of the time. Roger has been going after it, though. I would not fault a call, and just understanding that Roger is rather aggressive.
We also do want to give a PSA here, too, that if you are in some of these seats, we can see it on your phone. So, we're seeing Rhonda on there a few times. chat proing in real time. And most of the time it's good. I just don't want, if you're messaging with a lady, then, sometimes those conversations go a bunch of different directions. So, but we are not the phone police here. We are on a 30-minute delay so that we allow no squirrely business and allow people still to be kind of on their phones and help enjoy the night. Nobody enjoying it more than Roger as he's sitting up now to 22.9K. Has been relentless. Absolutely relentless here for the first 2 hours.
Yeah, he is smashing. He was in for under 10, at least. I don't remember exactly, but he is winning a lot. I like the fold on the river by the pocket fives. And
Sheldon, considering the shot clock. Yeah, I mean, I saw that in another stream, like, if you have that ability to be able to, like, time chips and that kind of stuff, like, I mean, that could certainly well be a thing down in the future as I think we master our process. And
yeah, I'm curious how that affects the game. I don't know.
yeah, that's a lot, even, for a dealer, for the staff, and
I like it more in tournaments for sure. I'm curious how that would play out in cash game environments.
certainly we love a brisk play, so we get to see a lot of hands. But this is the poker world, and sometimes, hey, people are allowed to play they want to play and act on their own accord. But I certainly appreciate all your comments, suggestions, and things that you believe can help Live of the Palms continue to grow. As we've got 5 players out to this. Pick a hand any hand, Aaron. That might be the 8-4 spades.
I was thinking the 8-4, but it is going to be the ace-jack taking a substantial lead of the field. But he was a caller pre. There's a club draw out there. Justin with the ace of clubs.
Roger with the worst of it, the one betting here, though.
Yes, he was the pre-flop aggressor, and he bets 55. Justin with a raise to 355. Yeah. And Sebastian in a bit of a tough spot. He has a strong hand, but no club. And in a 5-way pot, it is difficult to see yourself good. And he's actually going to make the laydown, which I get.
Yeah, I mean, think of how this could have gone if Roger knuckled and then potentially Justin leads at it, and then K-Rock gets a little bit more freedom to feel comfortable making a call, whereas like a small lead then raise all of a sudden just shrinks his hand to a point that's just like, what am I beating? And we are going to have, looks like, the 80 and then the 160. Yes! Maybe one, I don't know, we've got a bunch of straddles are halfway around the table, and
all the way to seat 1, Mr. Gordon, putting it out there. He's one for a good time. I assume John G goaded him into it.
Come on, it's like, I'm tossing you some winners here, like you gotta, okay, so it's gonna be the 160 out.
Yeah, so we got 315 dead out there, and action on the hijack, Mr. Justin. I wonder if we will get a straddle to the button within this stream. John D, Queen 10 of clubs, strong hand. He's gonna raise to 275. That's gonna be 320, I believe.
Yep.
Or yeah, 320 is the correct raise here. Puts in over half of a raise. I think he meant to do 375, so rather unfortunate for him, but rules are rules. Ronda with pocket sixes here. Looks like
this is like one of those that
I think it's
you're just inviting like someone to rip back over the top of you. Trey has to kind of fold his hand.
Yeah, I think Rondo was supposed to jam or fold. Roger as well. Wow, he folds the ace. Okay, I was like, I haven't seen him fold an ace today, and he's not going to do that here.
Yeah.
Trey's ace 7 suited fold. I get it. It's hard. especially out of position on half the table.
David Pratt says, you haven't sextuple straddled, you've never lived. That is a fact. That
Agreed. So Roger gonna put in the call. Gordon tragically gonna have to fold the queen deuce Israeli Ron hand. Heads up, John D and Roger. 9-10-4. John gonna flop the best of it. Rainbow board. And Roger going straight after it. Pot's 875. He's leading for 425.
I would think from his perspective that there might be more tens or hands that interact with this board that he's calling complete out of than what potentially John D would be opening with on the cutoff. Like, obviously that is not the case, but I can see him attacking this board specifically for that reason.
The biggest concern is John still has all the overpairs. So when you have ace and jack in your hand, I think you'd also think it blocks aces and jacks. It happens a little less often. And he's just going bombs away. He is betting 1,100, 1,200? 1,200 into 1.9. And John has 7.4 behind. Looks easy from our shoes, but when you get led into twice in this spot, it does not feel great.
Especially when a guy has been on a heater and just been really controlling the tempo in this game.
Yeah.
That is going to be a call, so we've got 4 live outs remaining heading into the river. It's going to be a 9 on the end, so
I think Roger... It wouldn't surprise me if he goes for it, but I think John has a much easier call now with that 9 coming through.
and Queen Jack, Jack 8 misses. Potential King Queens, King Jacks.
I'm curious if John bets to go for some thin value. And it looks like he's thinking about it. I don't think Roger will be calling a bet here, but I'm curious about John's decision.
And I guess maybe Roger could play like 8s or 7s potentially this way, albeit a little bit oddly, but it is still a hand sometimes you may see take this specific approach in this kind of situation with the straddles out there and so much money in this pot.
I see it. Wow, he just snaps that off.
2.3K call, ace high, no good, and some very thin value turns into a huge pot for John D. Hit the like. What a great night we've had here on 510 No Limit Cash Game at Palm Social, live at the Palms, 3 nights a week. As we continue on into the night here on our 510 on Cap Game. Great action here for a Monday night.
Agreed. I was thinking John should just bet like a little smaller to target the hand you're talking about, the 7s, the 8s, and he bets half pot and gets snapped off by ace high, so what the hell do I know?
Hey, it looks like we're going to have Cray J. Oh, wait, right?
Is that Mr. KJ in the box?
All right, so we've got the 40, looks like it's going to be put out by Roger, who's still going pedal to the metal. Nice lineup here that we'll put together. Right mixture, I think, of players of action and of the more solid types. That's why I've always kind of figured when you look at some of these games that you can look at some of the archetypes of the players that are V-pipping at a certain amount or playing X amount of hands or a specific kind of style. And you can always find players that at least, if not model their game after, think through some of the situations that come up their cash games. That if, like, just take out the cards on the left side, know your hand, like, how does this play out in your mind? And it's one of those things that I think can be a valuable tool at all stakes, really, with the live stream environment. So, as John D is the winner of the last big pot, is going to open here off the 40 straddle, the 150.
K-Rock Bastion finding the call. Sorry, what were we saying?
I was going to say that it's like literally it seems like every other hand is these two Johns here. As John G should be putting in the 3-bet now as He's gonna call as well. So
I don't know what to do. This entire table has just called ace king. The whole
I
time.
think he could be waiting for Roger to maybe do something crazy, that hiding in the weeds with the worst position on the table is not necessarily so bad. But Roger will come along with the Choctaw nuts. Big flop there for John G. He's going to flop the diamond draw and bottom pair for Roger, which should be good enough for him, I guess. At this point, he could still attack with.
I'm surprised John didn't pull out the donk here. He's been really loving the leads in these types of spots. K-Rock Bastion checks to him with fives. Has the best of it right now. John's going to find the call. And John D, I assume, will let it go.
Palm Brewing here is 1.4K, and would have been trip deuces for the Choctaw nuts, but still good enough here for K-Rock Bastion. But don't suppose John's going to fold to anything other than an overbet here with no spot.
Yeah, and a check back from fives. Queen pairs on the river. I expect, yeah, Bastion to call a bet if it is laid out there. Betting himself now for 1/3 pot, 500 into 1.4.
Certainly no fault John if he calls here. Like, yeah, he could be chopping a number of pots, but he's astute enough to know there's be. It smells like a value bet. It probably is.
John making another good laydown. He's been doing that a few times tonight.
Speaking of John, we got our boy ATX Poker in the house visiting us here in the chat. Bunch of live streams happening tonight, and we've got a heck of a nice one. We're continuing to grow here at Palm Social. Check us out, Palm Social 512. On Instagram, if not done so yet, on the Facebook, our website also linked in the description. Well, let's keep it going. Aaron McInnes joining me, Mike Jungblut, the dude talking, producer Sonny, sequestered and hidden away, handling our cameras and all the good stuff back there. We are in an even further locked, and we are armed back here so nobody can mess with us. But also trying to think of some other fake amenities that wouldn't exist. That, like I told them, like I wanted a fake palm tree in here just for aesthetic purposes, so I can really dig the vibe. But they're just like, no, that's not a possible thing. We do business here, and I appreciated them at least being honest. So, oh wow, Bastion got a 3-bet here with the 10-9 of hearts after the Justin open to 75 mid position. John G with ace queen, and
It is a big raise from Mr. K-Rock Bastion. 375 over 75. When you're this deep, though, I don't hate it. I am a fan of the bigger sizes when you're at depth. And here we are, heads up, ace queen versus 10-9. And John checks. He checks back. Turn 6 of hearts. A lot of outs live now for K-Rock Bastion. A heart, a 7, 9, or 10. He now chooses to bet 500 into 850. And I expect John to fold. He does.
That's not been a fun night for John G here, as it just seems like he doesn't get to have any of the enjoyment. It's just mostly been pain and hands that he's had to fold, but has not changed his approach much. I don't feel like his mentality has shifted in any different direction, whereas, yeah, I think sometimes with the swings in some of these high-stakes games, you can go through little spouts and moments in time that get frustrating, but oh boy, here come the next round of straddles out to the 20-40, and oh, he's going to make it all the way 100.
All right.
I confirm those numbers.
Who needs 80 when you can make it 100?
Yeah, it's a nice even number, 3 digits. Yeah. So if everybody's trying to calculate just how many big blinds they have right now, it's a little smoother process.
Yes.
What a great guy. What a great guy. He's thinking about us.
Yeah, it makes it easy on the commentators, the players. He's a man of the people.
Jay went also with that customized Palm Social hoodie. If you're just trying to, like, now if you just want to know what Aaron's like, just imagine a peach variety. Just as slick as. Okay, Trey with pocket eights in the cutoff. They'll raise up to 275. Will they get any action? Anything?
And John at D. Gonna find discipline laydown. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if I would make it myself.
Yeah, I know. If I have Queen 9 off, sit there, relatively small raise, maybe, but sometimes people have bad memories with Queen 9, and they're just like, nope, not today, devil. Not today. Again, if you want to get on the list in some of these other future games, you can also contact our front desk, 512-953-8388. We've currently got a new member promotion. And if you're a new member here, free month on us. 3 hours of free play. I believe I also saw a sign there at the front desk. You can get a free hour by showing that you like us on Instagram and Facebook if you've not used those promos yet. I mean, just, we're looking out for you, having the opportunity
And
to, accumulate yourself some free time at Palms.
yeah, straddling up to 80 once again. So we've got the triple from K-Rock Bastion. Trey again opening to 250 this time with pocket deuces. And getting over to Justin, another fold. 2 more to get through. John D folding and K-Rock Bastion, Jack 8 offsuit. And Trey picking up another set of blinds.
Trey just is picking up chips, but they don't feel like real pots at this point.
Back-to-back pairs and triple shadow pots. Makes it easy, for sure.
Walk his way back up here to the positive as can you hear live the Palms on the Felt of Dreams. This table built by Texas Poker Supplies. You see that logo right there, and game has certainly brought a ton of action, and it's not stopping, folks. The 80 put out here by Rhonda. Thanks for helping me out, Rhonda. That's amazing.
Trey could not be convinced into the 160 this time around. As lovely as Rhonda is, she did not have that power.
John Mega Hint says those chairs are super cool, look comfortable too. It's the only thing my girlfriend, when she watched the stream, was like, I don't like those chairs. And I'm like, what do you have against those chairs?
They're very comfortable. I'm sitting in one right now.
Yeah, as am I. Like, it's, I don't know. She's more meticulous on aesthetic things. I don't know how she wound up dating me though. That's a mystery to me that hopefully I'll get solved one day. As K-Rock Bastion out of one of these straddles with ace-8, we will get a complete and call king 7 ace-8. Let's do this.
I agree with David in the chat. That Palms is the nicest room in town. Can confirm.
Yeah, we've triple stamped it. It's in the books. Nicest place.
And
Coolest vibes. Pretty simple bet here by K-Rock Bastion is going to be effective enough as Rhonda will be forced to fold this one out. Not 3 players sitting here with 10K or more. Everybody else, I mean, what they're sitting with is nothing to sneeze at either. It's a pretty nice 5-10 game.
this is not your Vegas 5-10 game. We'll just say that.
Yeah, it's a totally Texas-built. So, like when I got the title here, Monday High Stakes, and I'm just like, 5-10's not, but
when it's in Texas, it is.
Yeah, I mean, like, it comes up often, especially when we talk on these streams. It's just like, it's bigger, like, but it's tough to quantify it if you don't totally understand, if you've not been around this environment a lot, as to like, no, it's just a little different. And for all our viewing enjoyment as well, so.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're used to capped environments and every game bigger than 1-2 in Texas is match stack or uncapped, it's a whole different world.
Is that ever going to change in some of these other environments? Because I would have to think, like, at some point...
I think as long as they're getting their rake in, they would just prefer the cap and keeping the game going as long as possible.
Yeah, that's a casino mentality, I'm sure it does. Justin opening here to 300 out of the small blind. Trey going to defend with 6 deuce, so poker is alive and well.
Yeah, who knew 6... Oh, and 6 deuce out flops with bottom pair. And Justin gonna continue. 225 into 670.
Does
Trey gonna continue with the bottom pair.
there's some backdoor clubbies, and it will be jack, so another opportunity for Justin to attack if he so chooses, or will not. Now Trey could potentially not be able
Yeah,
to take it slow, and
8 of diamonds on river. Justin, his only way to victory is by betting. And he's going for it. $750 into 12, approximately 11, 12. And Trey now with a decision, getting approximately 2.5 to 1. I'm gonna find the fold. Nice bet by Justin.
managed to bluff off Trey with a deuce. That's tough to do. That's not an easy task to get there here to the end to push him out of a hand. And
Trey is a battler and does not like to fold.
nobody really should. He's just the one of the propensity to most likely not act on that inhibition.
Yeah.
David Pratt here saying, also according to my records, besides Palms being the nicest place in town, Palms is the only place in town I haven't been able to win money on. I'm pretty sure it's not me. Gotta be a curse. I mean, maybe there's the ghost of APP that still exists here at some point that, you know, maybe you tempted the gods in such a way that requires like a sacrifice. Something near and dear personal to you that you have to burn to release the run bad gods. I don't know, I'm thinking out loud here. None of this is scientifically proven, but...
We've got the 160 on finally from Mr. John G. He got his time to shine. John D, ace-5 suited in the small blind. Just going to call.
We'll see. Does J1 finally have anything? No, he's got Jack Deuce suited, so the nightmare continues for him, but at least semi-playable when he's got the 80 out there.
And John G going to check his option. King Deuce offsuit.
And it's going to be bottom pair for John D, it looks like, and not much happening in the neighborhood for any of these other fellas. Now the queen peels, and pick any one of you guys want to bet at it, you might have the opportunity to take this one.
Yeah. And ace-5 still good on the river.
John D might be able to find himself to showdown with the winner, as nobody else seems to really feel too intrigued to try to go after it. And the ace-5 is going to hold as kind of an anticlimactic pawn, but that certainly once you get the 160 out there, it can cause a little bit of a halt of everybody.
Yeah, those pots either incite a lot of action or next to none, which is very polarizing in nature.
What's up, Johnny Grow lately? John Megahan says the Palm Beach Kennel Club is like that. 200 max, 1-2, 500 max for 2-5. It would be so much nicer if it was match stack. Good point, though, about the casinos. Would rather have multi-buy-ins. Says in West Palm Beach, Florida, the poker laws in Texas are so cool. with these poker houses. As
There are just no laws in Texas when it comes
it
to.
is really the Wild West at times.
Yeah, there's no gaming board here, unlike most of the rest of the country. So everyone is left up to their own volition.
Yeah, there are like poker czars, but they have no power.
Yes.
They're really just vloggers for the most part, and that's just.
I'm surprised there aren't more Texas vloggers. They're all in Vegas still, and L.A.
I think people have dabbled into it and realized, like Wes is, I think, is finally starting to get back into it. Andrew Vadine, so Jake Leos was trying to do one. I did like one or two. I don't know if he was.
Yeah, he doesn't do much anymore. Oh, we've got Kings waking
Oh
up
wow!
in the 160. K-Rock Bastion with pocket tens. Gonna put in a call. Oh, I take it back. The one exception is the next gen kids.
Yeah. The next gen, yeah, those are. So maybe there is more, but you would think, with
Yeah.
the way that vlogger sphere has kind of exploded, maybe there would be more. Oh, look at this! We got Roger with a couple of ladies. And I do not expect in this kind of pot with him in the 160 that this is going. This is.
There's a raise coming in.
Well, what are you guessing? 2.5, 2K, 3K. Like that's.
3 seems good. Maybe like small enough that if you. Oh, he's just gonna jam.
Oh, he's gonna rip.
I was gonna say like there's a. I think
Oh,
that.
no.
What's up?
That's gonna be like an 8K, so essentially covering everybody else on the table at this point.
So just all in. I would say the only other size that would be small enough that if Bastion rejams, you want to be able to reopen the action. But I think this is also just accomplishes the same thing. And Justin going to take his time before sticking all of his chips in the middle. And Bastion in a tough spot. Looks like he's going to be able to get away. Him not 3-betting the 10s pre-flop is going to pay off. And now Roger in a cooler situation. 17.3 in the middle. Kings versus queens.
See how many times we're just gonna get it run at once.com.
It looks that way.
Let's do it.
Jack 4. Turn 5. 1 queen out there.
It's gonna fade here for Justin. So that is a huge hit to Roger that has been scorching hot. And now we'll see. Hopefully, can Roger find a way to maybe get half of this, or is this going to be the scooper duper now for Justin? Oh, he does. He's just going to flop top set. Justin still got his kings live. And oh, it's a king!
Wow.
It's a king. Justin scoops it for 17.3K. Oh, sick. One card to come on the second board. Justin with 2 outs and bangs home the king for all the money.
I'm with DQ one time for Max Payne, but if we're being honest, this was pretty painful to watch from this perspective.
As they will count out the chips here, as again with the 160 out, kings and queens, getting it all in the middle as we give a shout out here to our good buddy DQ, answering the question about Texas poker vloggers. Not that there aren't any in Texas, we just don't know what software they use to create them. Teach DQ. I would watch a DQ poker vlog like every day. Because Scott, I'm going to just show you the baller hotels, penthouses, pots that just don't defy imagination. You would be an old-time poker vlogger if you were able to hire somebody cost efficiently that can manage your content, but DQ says, quote, there was no reason to rip it. I think it's just a matter of the fact of the 160 that he's creating a re-raise that he just wants to overpower the table versus... I don't know. What do you think? Because I was sitting there thinking with all the money that was out there that he was maybe going to make it like 2K, 2.5K, 3K, but he just opts to flex and runs into the one hand that...
I don't think the jam is a mistake. I think it's either raise or all-in. But you're not folding to an all-in, so by denying the equity of the other people that potentially come in, I don't think it's I think it's a closest spot either way. I don't think it's a...
As we count out here, our boy Cray J going to put this together. Is DQ is taking applications to help me build the content. I mean, if I didn't have a job here, you could have just hit me up for that like a couple of months ago. I couldn't promise it would have made a great deal of sense, but all right, DQ 2K makes sense. It can only be called by hands of people. Yeah, but I think it's also one of those spots where it's just when there's been a ton of pre-flop raising, you can always leave out the room that there's just going to be more mismatch and some other hands that generally are not at the top of range kind of quality, but
yeah, this jam also came from the person that has put forward the most aggression at the table, so you don't always expect him to have queens in that spot. So I feel like he could definitely get called by jacks, tens, ace jacks, suited hands like that. Yeah.
Our boy DQ Bond here in the chat with us is... Yeah, I mean, it plays that so differently if it's only like a $20 straddle and Roger just like opens to 100 and then he gets 3-bet and then 4 and then maybe, but it's like once you've got the 20, 40, 80, 160 and the most aggressive player in that straddle.
Jams.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a typical situation, but I don't necessarily think anybody's wrong here. It's just kind of a matter of personal taste.
Yeah.
And kind of how the game flow goes, but I know that's not a polarizing answer that gets a lot of clickbait. So no, you're wrong. You're talking. This is how like that's. Maybe I need to be more polarizing. Maybe that's what's holding us back. Is I need to start taking hard stances and just get into arguments with chat pros. Nah, I don't know. That's too much stress, sir. Aaron McInnes, Mike Jungblut here with you. Hanging out on Live at the Palms here, Palm Social, Austin, Texas. Links in the description here to our website, Facebook, and Instagram. And we have not been disappointed in anything here tonight. A great stream.
Yeah.
For 510 no limit. Good gracious.
Yeah, that was what, 18K pot? Just around.
Yeah, just
second one.
17.3 if the numbers are correct. I mean, there's. You know, you're also due for a little bit of. Somebody adds on, maybe you don't have a 1K or 2K in there, but you know, for the most part, that seemed like the accurate number.
Yeah. So yeah, this is another thing I was talking about earlier. When the straddles are on, the pots are either very small or they just balloon out of proportion, and we just saw 2 8K all-ins after what 3 or 4 back-to-back open, and then everyone folds.
Let's do this. J1, just no hands tonight. I'm so sad. Like I want him to be able to mix it up, but everything he says, wow, what a flop though for John D against the specific hand that he's up against. Gutter ball with the nut flush draw. Justin here with the jacks, with the jack of clubs in hand.
Yeah, he is way favored on this flop equity-wise. Justin getting barreled into for 75, very large, almost pot. Turn 5 of spades. Justin with the best of it right now. And John deciding what to do. He decides to check back and not push for the aggression. Deuce of clubs on the river. John with the best of it. Curious to see what Justin decides to do. He's going to be betting 150, so 60%, and John will be coming over the top. 525, just 3.5x raise. Justin in a bit of a spot, but he makes the correct and rather quick decision to fold.
I would just email Robert and explain exactly what happened with that.
Well, looks like we got a bit of weather hitting the Gulf Coast. We're not even sure if this is ever going to get to us here in Austin, but just like double checking, like, come on, can we get some rain? And there's like a dome that surrounds Austin that prevents it from getting any like rainfall at moments like this. So I hope this will not be damaging out there to some of the coastal regions. As I think we were expecting that some of the storm may become inland, but alas, it is not. But hopefully you guys stay safe out there and this passes through without a problem. DQ says, I spoke to Lexa Poker today on the phone about making sure he stops by Palm Social when he comes to town at the end of October. I was telling him how awesome the club is. Well, that's why we love DQ. That's what I like about Texas. Appreciate you, buddy. David Pratt pointing, I'm surprised, Nick, from you to point this out. Thumbs for Gordon with the Bushwood Country Club hat. You guys didn't notice that. It'll be coming right around there. You can see it as clear as day. All right, Rhonda here with a 3-bet to 200 in the cutoff. John D going to make the call heads up with ace queen. Could be max pain potentially for John. Rhonda maybe with an opportunity to double up here as around 2.6K. I feel maybe she has around that amount, but
That looked right for what I remember. But I just remembered actually, J1 had talked about starting a vlog up back in that conversation. So J1's got it. Oh, trips versus trips.
Rhonda should be able to get a full double if we don't get the Squirreliest River potentially. I guess there's still some opportunities.
Yeah, 4-3 or queen stops her from taking it down. She bets rather large, 475 here.
And I don't know if she's really expecting that she's up against another ace-X here in this spot. That's...
And I think a jam from John would be a mistake, but I expect him to go call from Rhonda.
I certainly don't expect that he's going to fold, but there you go. That's the all-in.
And waiting on a call from Rhonda.
She will likely review here for a moment just to... But it's going to be a call, so it will go to the river, but go see if it go 1 or 2 times. And it looks like a 7. Rhonda going to get the full double here, at least up to 5.6K. So DQ kind of goading her to say, hey, why don't you add on? And well, I think is going to get the double up here to 5.6. Maybe do a little more damage out here. Yeah, we are on a 30-minute delay live at the Palms at Palms Social in Austin. Let's do a subscriber discount double check here as 561. A decent room for growth here on the channel. Rhonda with a big double up here, though, and looking for that. She had a tough first hand. Ace King of Hearts versus the 10s, I think it was, of Roger. Also up against another Ace King, and it came out 9, 7, 8 with 2 hearts. Roger had 10s, right? And then she had the overs with the flush draw, and nothing getting home on that. So she started off the stream on not the most fortunate note, but crawling right back up here as Johnny Grow, leave that a girl, no run-its. Yeah, I mean, I have no animosity. Like, obviously, I would... Like, one time is great. I think if you, like, know each other and there's kind of a game that you run regularly and all that kind of stuff, like, I can be, okay, cool. Oh, wow, so we've got our plus-minus that already runs, so cool. But I don't begrudge anybody, but, yeah, run it once is, I think, a little more dramatic. All right, those...
Got K-Rock Bastion opening up Ace King offsuits. And I thought I saw Rhonda call. I think we're going to get the action tracker caught up. Yeah, their heads up to a flop.
Yeah, all right. This has actually been a great action track night for us as well, so... Shout out to Q, also Matt working a little bit with this as well as we've gotten in a pretty good rhythm here for the most part, and is a bet here by K-Rock, Bastion, and Ronda going to take it down. There's some tricky parts to this, and we've got a great team here at Palm Social working round the clock. I mean, I'm up at night, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., networking, trying to figure out who else we can get on and people that have their suggestions. And appreciate your suggestions for leaving it here in the comment section of things maybe you'd like to see or you already appreciate about the stream. Always kind of tinkering with the YouTube. There's some Palm Social exclusives content that take you a little bit deeper into some of the personalities and stuff that Caitlin's worked on. That's terrific. I suggest you go check that out. The Drunk Poker Recap especially. Yeah, DQ. I like, okay, here's DQ's philosophy. Okay, Mike, here's the deal. You can run it twice when you're playing a friendly game in the card house. However, when it comes to the live streams, it must be Max Payne! Because we don't tune in to Chop. No, that's a really solid argument. If this was, like, Debate Club, I mean, like, fucking win that round for DQ. Like, he just crushed it. Jimmy Bluffett says, love in the chat pros only want to run it once when they had no money at the stake to win or lose. LOL, LOL. They have no... Yeah. DQ has room to be like... I can flex a little bit here. Alright, we've got the wheel draw for both of these players. No other redraws of the type, so it is going to be a bet call. Turn card is a Queen of Hearts. So we've got some run it twice shaming happening. Got some nit shaming. There's going to be all new kinds of shaming that we will learn about that did not exist before we started this stream. Roger looking to make the ambitious bluff here that I think Trey is probably going to let go of.
Roger's aggression continues to work for him.
John Megahen asking, I wonder when the run it multiple times fad got started. The first time I ever remember vividly seeing it was during high stakes poker. That was like, 2004, 2005, 2006, where I'm sure it started earlier, but, being 18, 19, I wasn't hanging out in Vegas games to know if that was actually a thing. But that is actually a great trivia question to know when that actually began or who. Amarillo Slim come up. I'm sure the old time gamblers were not in the run it twice kind of crowd, but
I remember I think a Farhad, some hands like that. Like I think Jamie Gold got into that mix. So
yep.
Like the late 2000s decade was I think when like high stakes poker with like Gee and all that whole crowd. Back when they were playing for
hundreds
$1 million
of that. I mean,
pots. Yeah, just absurd money.
All right, just a little closer. It's different than having we have actual like microphones and run through a soundboard in front of us for us. Like the headset, you can kind of just keep around, and I did a little sound check when I stepped away. Everything sounded pretty good for the most part, so
glad to hear it. So we've got a raise from Roger on the button, sticking with his button aggression to 125. We had the $20 straddle on, and both, or was it the 40? It was the 40, I'm sorry.
Yep.
And both straddlers made the call. 5-5-6 rainbow, 7-8 offsuit with the highest amount of equity, and ace high, the winner as of right now. K-Arc Bastion putting in the aggression, 250 into 390. Roger gonna fold. John with a bit of a decision. Overall, probably gonna be a fold.
There's DQ says, "Hey Mike, are you aware that I can't super chat on the stream?" I am aware, and it is one of those YouTube rules that until you reach 1,000 subscribers, you know, and like we're getting close to the amount of watch time to qualify for it, but we still need folks out there hitting subscribe on the button. That way DQ can send us super chats. I guess you could send it to my personal Venmo if you wanted to. I mean, that's not out of the question. Maybe that would be kind of selfish, but I at least want to be able to give DQ the opportunity to... It says, let me get to my secondary. I mean, you're doing it. I'm not into the buying subs or anything to pump us up. I want genuine viewers. But, I mean, if you know a count or two that you have that could help us reach some of those totals, would certainly help us out, reach monetization, and opens up a new window and new door here for Live the Palms. Air Gordon's been kind of quiet for a bit.
Yeah, we've got the $80 straddle on from Trey. Folds to a K-Rock Bastion, 7-3 offsuit. Going to put in the raise to 170. Ronda with the fold, and Trey pocket sevens. And he's going to put in the 3 bets of 420. I like the aggression. Just
David Pratt here in the chat. Mike, I just hired one of those Korean companies that have people with a huge rack of phones faking social media likes. Give me a couple of minutes, you will have your 1K. Well, I mean, that's why I say I compare. David Pratt is like my Arliss. If you guys remember Arliss, the sports agent, circa 2000s. We apparently have DQ2, DQ's alter ego, or some kind of unrelated stranger. Hello, everyone. I am new to the chat. Welcome you, DQ2, whoever you may be. Alright, David Pratt says, I hope you don't mind that most of your subs will be from dear leader glorious city of Pyongyang. Well, anything we can do to help the fine folks in Pyongyang. Yeah, I would happen to think they would love streaming poker there. And that's the thing. You look at the statistics, and it's like, you know, 70% to 75% of the audience is from the United States, like 1% from the UK, 1% Canada, 1% Australia, and the rest is like everywhere else in the world. So it's like a mystery to me as to where the heck we reach to sometimes. Okay, ace is up for Trey. Justin with nothing but betting, though.
we got a bet from Justin, continuing his aggression from pre-flop. Trey gonna make the call. And the ace of clubs on the turn gives Justin the nut flush draw at the same time as Trey receives top full house. Justin gonna check behind. And Jack of Hearts on the river. Front door flush completes. Trey gonna bet. He bets rather large, 3 or 4, 450, so full pot. And Justin is gonna make the quick fold.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, my personal light goal was to maybe get to like 75 tonight. I think that's like a reasonable number. It helps us pump the good word out about Live of the Palms, gets more impressions out there. So for all the people that exist within this poker YouTube sphere, that, you know, like you watch some of the streams, you watch some of the vloggers, but they've not quite maybe seen this yet, or something that has not quite totally caught their eye. So that's the only reason why we ask, because for the good of all of us. There's Aaron McInnes joining me, Mike Jungblut, the dude talking. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at HoopsMike, if you so please. And let's rock on into the night. I think I've not gotten a confirmation of when we're totally cut off yet, but I imagine we'll at least be going till 10:30, maybe. It's like 3 hours. This is a zip by here for the most part.
Yes,
2 hours
sir.
45.
We've got the live 40, and I believe live 80. I think that's John's 80. So Rhonda with Jacks in the big blind. Trey, ace queen offsuit in the first straddle. Raised to 625. I like this sizing based on stack tips. I think you could go up to somewhere around 7, but overall I think this is really solid. And Rhonda in a bit of a tough spot. Just due to how... Oh, Trey's stack is off. Okay, never mind. I would have preferred slightly larger then. I thought he had 2.4. That would have been close to perfect for it. But he looks to have somewhere around 10. So I would have preferred a little bit larger. And Rhonda's just going to find the call. 1.4k in the middle. 3-bet pot. Heads up. Deuce, deuce, 8. 2 hearts. Trey with the queen of hearts. Rhonda checks. Trey going to continue his aggression. 600 into 1.4. And Rhonda can choose to raise here sometimes. She is. She's choosing to raise 1,600. Leaving herself around 3,000 behind. Makes it a little bit awkward. If he calls, she has about 3 into 5, so 60% pot on turn.
Should be a winner here for Rhonda, but yeah, Trey does not have much he can fire back with. I think his stack is there's more pinks on there. We might.
He's got closer to 8 or 9 at this point. So the effective stack is Rhonda with 3.2 after the 1.6, so 4.8 total. And I think Trey's decision now is all in or fold. And he's got 40% equity against her hand. Wouldn't be the worst option to just try and stick it in.
Trey is still trying to figure out if he's got any late straight flexibility to mess around with this. And
yeah, if he calls, Rhonda has around 60% pot. So I think the options are all in or fold. But I think just due to how stacks are set up, Rhonda doesn't really have a fold. So yeah, Trey just gonna let it go. Hates life.
yeah, folding ace queen is pain. It just is never. Folding is boring, as some of the vloggers might say, but we will have 2-5 PLO on Wednesday with the Poker Gypsy Matthew Marvin. You can follow him at the Poker Gypsy. Guy does has appeared on a lot of the live streams. Got big Instagram following. It's just going to wasn't a game we featured around him, but is one that he will be in the mix also with some of our like we had a player win 10K in like 2 hours in that same 2-5 PLO game last week, and you'll see that highlight reel likely drop tomorrow. So don't sleep on PLO here. There is lessons to be learned and fun to be had. Join here on Wednesday night. I can't tell if this Johnny Girl lately guy is just a troll or just kind of like messing with me. Some of them are like legitimate questions. Some are like, really, man? Appreciate you being here. Just as we've got the 80 put on, as we'll be folded around here to Rhonda with ace jack of diamonds. So as soon as the variations of DQ show up into our chat, Rhonda starts running a little bit better. It's that San Antonio strength, As J1 will not get the opportunity to play this, and I don't think Rondo with a raise up to 250. Roger going to defend with the 9-7 of diamonds. And sitting at, like, I think even or close to it on the night. Gutter ball here for Roger. Nothing much happening for Rondo. The overs and backdoor diamonds, but...
Pretty large c-bet, 400 into 970. Roger gonna make the call. In position, 1.4 in the middle. And turn 7 of clubs, if I see that correctly.
Yep.
Roger with a big lead now. And Rhonda most likely gonna check and give up. Roger in a bit of a tough spot. Wants to bet for denial, but hand isn't too strong. But luckily, her hand is rather weak and will just give up.
Yeah, it's a bet of 800 and a full does... Well, said it over and over a bunch. This game's been great. A lot of action. Probably need to get Trey stack fixed. We know there's probably at least 5K or more up in there. Met some healthy stacks all the way around. We saw some of the plus minus numbers earlier, where now I think it's just John D who's probably got the biggest profit after one of his big hands earlier. But we'll keep going.
Eric Gordon opening up Ace Jack +2 to 125, so I assume it was the $40 straddle on. John D in the hijack calling Queen Jack. K-Rock Bastion 10-9 offsuits in the cutoff. Rhonda King 6 suit on the button. Trey with King 5 suited in the small blind getting in there. John G finding the discipline laydown with 970. And Roger with the Jack 8 of clubs. 3 of the 4 jacks out of the deck so far. 780 in the middle, 6 ways. Texas forever.
Yes, sir.
We found the last jack in the deck.
Top 2 open ender. Bottom pair for Ronda, but this should probably come down between John D and K-Rock Bastion.
And maybe Eric Gordon if he decides to stick around. So checks. I expect Gordon to check. John D will not be checking. K-Rock Bastion in a bit of a tough spot just because there's 4 people behind him. But he's in later position relative to the button, so I think he's going to feel pretty comfortable making this call. If he was in somewhere like the small blind, it'd be a bit more difficult.
As I heard some clapping out there, so maybe we might be expecting something here on 1st and 10 for the Las Vegas Raiders. Looking to try to get into the end zone here as 1st and 10 from the 15, as we've got a hand on the felt. As the guy sitting on my fantasy bench, Josh Jacobs, with his 2nd touchdown of the night for your Raiders. Doesn't matter though. I got the dub, I think. So, all right, we've got Bastion out with a pair, so a little more hope for, even before his draw, but a big price up to 1,000.
Yeah. John has been loving these big bets throughout the evening. He's now betting 65, or sorry, 2/3 pot. K-Rock Bastion in position is going to make the call. Biggest issue now is when you hit your hand, you are now a part of a 4-liner, and it's difficult to get paid. To the river we go.
Let's do it. It is going to be a deuce, it looks like.
Deuce of spades, so backdoor flush completes. John with the only spade, so he's going to feel pretty comfortable with everything. I would feel pretty comfortable betting from his perspective. And K-Rock Bastion's only win con is bluffing John out of the pot.
John D going for it again.
Looks like 2,000 or 1,500, something around there. Yeah, 2,000.
Decision here for K-Rock Bastion. I guess if you were the backdoor spades got there,
Yeah, his stack is just too short to try and pull off any bluffs. I think he would need to be equivalent to John to have any opportunity. So I expect a fold to come through. When John bets into 5 people on the flop, and he makes a crying call.
oh wow, he was not a believer, and John D took this multi-way, was able to find a way to get some more money out of that. And I was kind of surprised. I thought this has constructed itself out in such a way that any call here is not ideal, but you're missing that element out of what's going on there in the felt, that maybe he thought something squirrely was up, and well, like we've done many times, you've guessed wrong.
Yeah. When John bets into 4 others on the flop, or 5 others, I believe, you got to give him at least some amount of credit. And when he continues to barrel 2 more streets,
So
I think you can be pretty selective in your calls on river.
yeah, good food for thought for your multi-way players is the more players you have and the more strength that you're getting, it's just, unless you literally know the person or know some of their habits pretty well, like it's tough to get 3 straights and feel like third pair can be good enough a percentage of the time. But John D loving life as he's got kings, and there's already the 40 straddle out there, so
Got a raise to 175. Trey putting in the call on the button with a mystery hand. Roger, 9-8 offsuit, gonna make the fold, and Eric Gordon as well, gonna find the fold, who was in the 40. Heads up, 425 in the middle. Under the gun versus button with a mystery hand.
yeah, we've not seen that too often tonight. All the hands have been scanning fairly well.
What was the thing that they used to have on the WSOP? Like the Jack Link's whole cam or something?
Oh, they had Jack Link's beef jerky. Yeah, like
yeah.
I don't know if they, like, the ESPN Productions went away from the whole card cameras, or if they still do that with a more advanced technology, if there is more RFID technology that's being used on some of those broadcasts. Maybe somebody knows that, but I'm actually genuinely curious if they've totally removed themselves from that technology, or... John D still here with kings, and Trey had called the 175 bet, so you can bet there's some 10 jacks, king jacks, 7-8s, 7-6s, 9-8s, 9-7s, maybe some spade draws if he is going to continue here. He's actually going to put in the raise up to 16.
Yeah, so 7-8 gets there on the turn. Trey has 4, 5, probably around 6,000 behind. Ish, 6 to 7 on top of his 16. So somewhere between 7 and 8. John in a bit of a tough spot now. With kings, with the king of spades. Gonna make the call.
Now
And
Trey is not all in, we just don't have the right number on his stack after he rebought, so that might be a number that we adjust here momentarily, but we can see he's got at least like 4K left.
Yeah, 4 in pink plus like 5. I think it's something around 6, maybe a little less than 6.
The action held up as I think that's the conundrum our team is faced with at this point. It's like, hey, wait a second, Trey's not all in.
Yeah.
Let's get this number correct so that we know what we can input here for him. Again, John D betting 400, and then Trey putting a 1600 raise on this turn spot. John D making the call before we head off to the river, as we'll see if this works itself out in due time.
Pot will be 4.4 going into the river. And John in a bit of a tough spot. Looks to be... Nope, nothing.
All right, it looks like we've got the number updated here for Trey, so we should be bombs away for the river. The pot number's a little bit off, but we get this kind of run out here that makes Trey's mystery hand look so much more potentially more dangerous here. Like, you are against your opponent, he turned raise you to 1600, and you have this board come out, and what do you do here with kings? And we've seen this situation play out earlier with Justin. Now it's playing out with John D.
And yeah, Trey's button flat should just be so strong here. And he is now all in. Trey is, yeah, just playing it well. I think John's really restricted himself to strong one-pair hands, just due to pre-flop and how the hand is played out.
It'd be unreasonable if Trey had like ace-8 of spades, maybe? I don't know. Maybe we can get him to fan his cards and...
Yeah, hopefully we'll see them turn over. But I don't honestly expect John to call. If you were going to call with kings here, I think you would prefer to not have a spade. Just in case he has like king 10 of spades or something like that.
I agree.
King 10 of hearts, something like that, so...
Trey stoic here, but...
Yeah, Jack 10 is the only real bluff that I can find. At least that's obvious. Unless he's turning a hand like ace 6 of spades or ace 7 of spades into a bluff.
Johnny Grow thinking it's ace queen. That's not irrational either, but I feel like there's going to be more often a time where Trey might check that back here on river, but...
Yeah, I think he would rather raise flop than raise turn as well. Turn is pretty dubious for ace queen, especially on a lot of rivers. Prefer to maximize the value you're getting from John's range on the flop.
I have to feel like maybe it's 9-8 or...
He makes the call.
Seven. See, river to set. So we all guessed wrong. So that does make sense that he would put in the turn raise with the 7 of spades after the 6 turns, and then goes for the jugular. And nobody gets it right here in the chat of guess the mystery hand. And Trey kept us all guessing, and then hits the one card he needed. Well, I guess not the one. He could.
8s were also good for him.
And that is quite a hit there for John D. That, single pair of hands in this particular spot just are gross to have to go through. As another fantastic edition of Guess the Hand here on Live at the Palms. I think we have got about a half hour more to go here on the live stream. Kind of 3.5 hour shows, I think, are a nice little sweet window between production and crew. That last half hour will kill you if you go through 4 or 5 or 6, but I could see us in the future having like a marathon stream, 5, 6, 7 hours, if the game were to warrant it. And the only way we can do that is continue to grow the channel. Just make sure to like and subscribe. So we've got it tied up 17-all in Las Vegas. Here Ravens here with a chance on 1st and goal. Well, they have to be as dangerous as anybody. With Mr. Lamar Jackson at the 9-yard line. They'll give to Latavius Murray. Breaking through, spinning, and into the end zone. Touchdown, Baltimore. So for anybody that might be keeping an eye on the over-unders, that is a little more hope than you may have started this 4th quarter with. So we will move on here to the next hand here with a dealer change. Chance here for the Ravens to go up 7, and Raiders will still have like 6 minutes to work with. As we got the call, unfortunately, Trey's number might be off because we didn't have the hand scanned. We did see it, so maybe that will get entered, so the results will be correct, but right now the action tracker kind of held up on that missing piece of information. John Megahan, he did exactly what you're supposed to do when you river a set. Yeah, I guess that next question becomes, you know, now that we figured out his hand, was his process smooth? Was it the right decision? Did Trey realize he was maybe up against kings or ace queen or king queen, and going for that potentially got him the most that he could get? I mean, obviously yes, but it is not a simple game by any stretch of imagination.
So we've got the 80 straddle from John D. K-Rock Bastion opening 8s. Rhonda calling ace-10 of diamonds. Trey with pocket 3s and a decision. He's been 3-betting these smaller pairs a little more than the average player this evening. I'm curious if he continues to do so. He decides on a call. Jaywin folds. Roger folds. John G getting out the way. And folding back to John D with the Israeli Ron, and I expect a... you found the call. All right.
So really, Ron was thinking about moving to Austin. I don't know if he's just one of those people that when you're out there on the West Coast, you think about that out loud. But he was on our chat of the old show. It's like, maybe my kids might want to do it, but nice. We'll wait and see. Oh wow, look at this for Rhonda, a straight and a flush draw.
Checks through.
3-ball though, banks home here for Trey, so we will at least get some action here.
And K-Rock Bastion was the initial raiser pre, checked flop. Rhonda chose to check behind, and now Trey River turns bottom set. Back-to-back hands with a set from him. And he's going to put in the raise to 825. Yep. John with the easy fold. Bastion with the fold.
Yeah.
And Rhonda with a lot of equity. And a decision.
I would be surprised if she went over the top, but it's... After seeing that last hand, it's going to at least expect maybe something's up here, as we do see trips, and a 4 is going to miss, so Rhonda will not be able to collect anything on this. Is Trey most likely going... Probably going to go up to like 2K, try to target King X. So.
It looks 16...
Yeah.
1200? It looked actually pretty small. 1600, yeah. So yeah, I like the size. I think it's appropriate.
Yeah, I'm thinking King Queen, maybe King 10. Could certainly pay that one off. All right, hang in there, Aaron. We got like 20 more minutes of the show. It's been a really nice game here tonight on 5-10 No Limit on Cap. Thank you for everybody who has paid attention with us and liked and subscribed. Still your chance to do that and to spread the good word. Here before the knot is complete. Trying to get up a thread on Reddit, so I'm trying to get the word out a little bit more to other sources of people who love streaming poker, but it is a rock fight out there to try to get attention in this world, and it takes folks like you to keep helping us. and the number of different versions of DQ that have also popped in here this evening. Trey here with a 6-3, and he's just going to show it here as nobody out of the straddles has woken up with a hand, and now it is the hour of Trey. Right now, we've got the Vegas Raiders charging down the field past their own side of the 50 into Baltimore. Maybe we get the really good ball game here or not, but pretty heavy dose of double and triple straddles is this time just the double. Should be double checking to see what other games we got going on, if those have dissipated throughout the evening. It was like a pretty nice 2-5 game out there going for a while, was there not?
Whenever I went out there earlier, it was still on. That was where I was hanging out prior to the...
Yeah, I think that game... Well, maybe it's still going, but beyond the walls here of this studio. That's going to have Roger. It's been kind of quiet for a while. I've not seen him have the opportunity to mix this up.
And he comes out swinging with the King 7 off on the button. He is another person who's a big fan of the button. And I respect that wholeheartedly. The button is powerful. Trey gonna raise call the ace-10 offsuit, flop middle pair with the best kicker. Roger now has a gut shot to a 9 and 1 over. He checks back. Turn deuce of spades. Trey can choose to bet here for protection. A little bit of equity denial. Probably something around the range of 300.
Oh, here come the Raiders. Another catch. They're going deeper here, buddy. All right.
And Roger looks to give it up.
Is it Trey? Yeah, that Trey wound up making a bet at that as he should. Then
Yeah.
kill pot now. That's got to be a bigger game. That's like 3 in a row for Trey now at this point.
Yeah, he bet pretty big, 625 in that spot.
So you see our stacks. Now 4 players with 10,000 or more at this point. And we hope to see this game here more in the future, especially on Mondays. No, Bone says he wants to come on here soon. Been busy, but I was like, dude, let's get Aaron McInnes. Like, we're rattling off names like before we started these shows. Be like, okay, who do we want to have? Like, who do you work best with? And you're in like the top 5 of names. I'm like, first, gotta put Aaron McInnes in there.
I appreciate that. And
All right.
enjoy being around.
It's fun to do. It's good to mix up, and I imagine it kind of helps the thinking part of your brain too. When you're kind of it's not unlike poker out loud, but it's gives you the opportunity to think coherently on stuff.
For sure. We've got Rondo limp calling the deuces, Trey with the ace-king suited, raising to 75, and John with pocket 5s in the big blind. Coming along, top pair for Trey. King 6-8 rainbow. I expect a pretty decent bet. Got 125 coming in. And fold, fold. Easy game.
Can be like that sometimes as the hour of Trey continues. All right, Derek Carr with a chance. There's throw. Touchdown Raiders. Darren Waller. That is a big time tie up there as the extra point is going to be 24 all. So I think the over-under was like 52 or 53 on this. Man, those guys out in Vegas, they know how to set these lines, though. I think it was something like the majority of the underdogs won yesterday or covered, I think, in some of those games. So
John G with a hand after a few minutes off. Gonna limp the ace-10 suited.
I still can't believe we've not had like a J-win hand. This is so absurd. This is like the coldest I've ever seen anybody get dealt cards besides me. The one time I played against J1. Okay, we got some win pots here for $10. This is almost more rare to see than like a 5K pot on this stream.
Agreed. So we've got king, queen, 6, 2 clubs, and John with the best of it right now. I think someone checked out early, or he just bet and everyone forgot. I think that one is what happened.
Some hands are easier than others, and yeah, we have a new member promotion here at Palm Social that for a free month, you get a free month of play, and then you also get 3 hours of free play. So you sign up, you've never been here. We will give you that much.
We've got the $40 live shadow coming out from Trey. And Lamar Jackson with the opportunity to get the game-winning drive going. Hopefully the action on the table stays as high as it has been as we finish up. Around 15 minutes left. Roger opening king-queen off to 125. Ronda in the first shadow gonna fold. Trey with 7-4 offsuit, gonna defend. Heads up, Trey and Roger back at it again. We've got Jack 8-4 with 2 hearts. Trey with a bottom pair. And a very weak backdoor flush draw. Roger gonna check it back. Turn 10, he's now open-ended. And Roger gonna check it back again. River, ace of hearts. So front door flush completes, but he now has Broadway. Expect he can go for a small bet. And I expect Trey to pay this off never.
Yeah, Roger got up to like 20K. He got up to like 22K at one point, and just
He peaked around 20, yeah. And he had that big cooler queens versus kings in the quad or quintuple straddle pot. And he's been pretty quiet ever since. But the first hour was the Roger show.
and you can always go back and check these highlight reels out at any point in time. Again, you got a full playlist of all the live streams. This is episode 8 here of Live the Palms, or we'll have episode 9 on Wednesday, 2/5 PLO. Should be a fantastic, absolutely riveting, greatest live stream you've ever seen. Boy. We got about like 15-20 more minutes to go. Make sure to hit the like, click, subscribe if you have not done so yet. We appreciate all y'all tuning in.
Justin,
Fun night.
Sorry?
No, good.
No, Justin opening up the Queen 9 offsuit from the cutoff. Trying to keep the VPIP numbers up nice and high. And Trey gonna make the defense in the straddle with 7-8. 165 in the middle, heads up. Ace, ace, 8 with 2 hearts. Justin with a few options once it checks to him. You're gonna bet 1/3 pot, $55. Trey gonna make the call with his 2 pair. Turn 6 of hearts, I believe. Justin now with a weak flush draw. Middling flush draw, more accurate.
Yeah.
And
The hand that becomes a flush draw, whether he knows it or not, that is...
live, yeah.
Yeah, that's...
Gonna continue barreling 225 into 275.
becomes a note.
Trey in a bit of a spot. He has no heart in hand, and he's just gonna let it go. Not an ideal turn for his hand. One of the big issues is there aren't many good turns for your hand in that spot. So, really difficult to defend over multiple streets with that hand.
So, and if you want to play here on Live at the Palms, you want to get your name in the mix on the list, again, our phone number 512-953-8388. Yeah, we got cords of many here in our back office, safely secure, but it is. I gotta tell you, like, when we did the first weekend, we were putting this all together, and I'm like, you know what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to build a hole so that we can drag cords through this, so that we can isolate Sonny and myself, so that I have no access to seeing what goes on in there. And I gotta hand it to the team here; they've been very flexible. Let me use this main office back here just to joke around here on this live stream that we hope to continue building on into the future. Is K-Rock Bastion. Not J-Rock, but K-Rock, the raise up here to 200. Any of my Trailer Park Boys fans out there. J to the ROC. Alright, 10-7 again here for Roger. He got spicy with that in the ninth. Early Ron.
And K-Rock with a hand that he can probably barrel with if he gets the opportunity. Roger just going to lead again. He's been utilizing this rather often throughout the night. Leads for 375 into 475. So pretty large lead. And K-Rock, with this specific hand, pretty handcuffed to just folding. Unless he recognizes Roger's aggression and decides to go back at him.
David Pratt says, Mike, what does the giant red button with the, quote, do not press sign do? It's I don't even know if I can mention it really at this point. Like, it's... We were told by the FBI that we could not disclose it in accordance with acting. No, okay. That is actually the boom switch. There's the doom switch and then there's the boom switch. Depending on which button you press and the sequencing that you do is what determines your run good here. So, all right, let's go 5-10. Yeah, it gets a little toasty back here, Aaron, too. This is a warm area. As Lamar Jackson making a huge run here. Oh, good gracious. He rattled off, I think, like 30 yards there as we've got a timeout by Oakland, a minute and a half to remain. Invite you to come out and play here at Palm Social Open here on the weekends on Saturday. We've got big live streams coming up again. Conrad Simpson going to be joining us from Sulphur Y. We've got Ladies Night next Tuesday. Caitlin going to be out here playing again with Poker Face Ash. Ebony Kenny, obviously. There's a name or two that I'm escaping from me here that are also... Oh, so producer Carolyn. Duh, of course. How could I forget that individual friend, dude?
Local legend.
Local, I mean, that's the bet. Local king legend. All right, Queen Deuce, another paired board here is... All right, a bet here by Roger is going to get it through as, again, a big first hour, then things kind of come crashing back to earth just a smidge. What else? Keep an eye out here for the highlight reel. I think we will have that up probably around noon tomorrow from our last week's 2-5 PLO game. We look forward to seeing you on Wednesday, and then the next broadcast to be determined. Most likely Saturday, but we're kind of trying out what days seem to be better than others and are good days to feature here at Palm Social. Yeah, son, the 10-8 of clubs here for Trey, the dude talking. That's literally my hands and suit. I've yet to see anybody really win with it, so maybe it just stays my hand. But maybe Trey's, if he's not a heater, this is what seals it. As we could get 6-way action out of this Aaron here with a whole host of different hands.
All right, take your, which hand wins?
10-8 of clubs, clearly. It's,
All right.
but there's 10-8 of diamonds. I'm screwed. It's probably going to be
I'm going with
Queen
Gordon.
Jack.
I'm going with Gordon. Ace-3 of hearts. Ooh.
Boom. Oh, but we got club
wow.
draws.
Got action. Queen Jack, 10-8 of clubs, King 7 of clubs. Ooh, this is gonna be fun. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I know it will be big.
It's
275 into, what was that, like 7? Around 7, yeah. K-Rock Bastion with what looks like 1.3, maybe 1.5 behind.
mm-hmm.
Looks a little bit smaller than what the... Oh, maybe that's
Ray's
right.
not going to call. He's not going to fold the flush draw here, even though he does have a gut shot again to a 9, so he's not.
Yeah. Yeah, Trey and John are very deep, so I think he feels pretty comfortable in this spot.
Is this pot being built up here to 2.4K? Look at all those chips over there. As a 4-ball.
Yeah, John feels great at this point with top 2. He's gonna bet pretty large. Oh, he checks. Oh, I forgot the K-Rock.
Yeah, he's got
He
the.
raised turn. Yeah, he had the betting lead. Trey's in a bit of a spot. He can call and then John can raise, I think is what I would expect to happen.
Now if you're John D from 1.2, by our count, you're sitting around 7.7.
I wonder if there's a raise size that's not all in. I don't think so. It just...
Yeah, I mean, you're going to commit yourself fully, even if you put in, like, probably, even like a min, I think, at 2.4.
I think it's literally call or all in.
And
He raises to 4. Yeah. It just feels so weird, because, like, Trey's getting a price and has position on river. Yeah, Trey needs to call 2.8 to win, what, 8.8? So he's 3 point something to 1. And even if he's dead to K-Rock Bastion, he's getting 2.8 to win 2.8, so 1 to 1 on that. So yeah, maybe it's... I still think the ideal raise size is all in, but Trey's in not as good of a spot in case if either of them has a bigger flush draw. He's in a really tough spot.
decision here going to be on Trey that this pot building up to so much is just like, okay, do you want to gamble on this? But it will build up another side pot, it looks like, up to... Well, that's the other thing, I guess. Trey does not know, obviously, that there's a better flush draw out there right there in the middle between this one. But if he does go for 2.8... If it does go for 2 up to the 4, so what that would leave, what, like 2, no, 2.8. So I mean, you're just gonna have like another 6K side pot that I guess he could potentially draw to.
Yeah, because well, what he can figure is John D's raise is most likely not a flush or like a draw of some sort. It's like pretty showdown driven. Because he still has to beat K-Rock for the main if Trey folds. So he has to decide if he thinks this is a profitable call against John D's raises here. And even against a hand like Ace-Queen, it's pretty difficult to find yourself good. Assuming K-Rock had a hand like King-Queen himself. Like you still don't have the most equity in that spot. And 9 plus clubs is not going to be enough.
I think he probably will give it up, but it will be probably agonizing until he does, because he's just... looking at this huge-ass pot that has just developed in this spot that is not necessarily easy to walk away from, and he eventually will. So John D will isolate him out, and we'll just have to fade a club.
It's a good fold. I like it. And 8 on the river. Queen Jack holds.
So Trey probably thankful he missed out and didn't cost him any more. K-Rock Bastion trying to take a shot at it, and John D will win a little money back that had to kind of surrender earlier in some tough hands here at Live of the Palms. But it do look like we have about 2 more hands to go. Then we will call it a night.
How many straddles do you think we get combined in the last 2 hands?
The combined, it's got to be at least 7. There's got to be.
All right, the line's at 7.5. Over under.
7.5. I gotta go. Where's the button at? I'm gonna go under. Like I think if it was button on like Ronda or button on like Gordon.
I think button on Gordon, it gets pretty big.
Yeah, it's that plays havoc in the number, and
I'm gonna go. I'll be contrarian. I'll go over. Because I think if it gets to John, or I guess it depends on if Sebastian rebuys. Sebastian may be willing to do the quad.
We're gonna go to overtime with this Monday Night Football game. Daniel Carlson bangs home a long field goal to tie it up at 27 apiece, and folks who still have hope for the over. Boom, there you go. Thank you for stopping by, Johnny. Appreciate you guys who have been here on the chat. Do we have one straddle? Looks like it's only one, so unless we get a Omega.
We've got at least, I think it's 3. John, Roger, 155 would be 20, 40, 80? 60, 140. Yeah, so we got 3 so far.
Those 3 extra out. I mean, it was actually a really good bet. Yeah, he makes it 3.
Okay, so it leaves us to almost like a coin flip for the straddle bet.
Yeah.
By the time I get to the end, that's not bad.
I think you're favored.
Most likely.
I think it's hard to get over the 4. I think 4 and 4 would have been the only win con. You got Justin raising the 8-5 suited heads up versus John. And he's still stacking his chips.
Yeah.
He's not going to fold.
Can't disturb a man trying to stack up all the money. Alrighty, let's do this.
Oh.
King 9 of spades. Reasonable.
Here we go. Ace 3-6 with 2 clubs. No one has much of anything. But Justin with the betting lead will likely take it down.
And he's had a few more white claws probably than John has, which does give him the advantage of being just a little bit more zestier in this spot, I suppose. So, all right. David Pratt saying, come on, quintuple straddle. The over-under of total straddles in the last 2 hands. The over-under was 7.5, so we may need to see how many out here now. We need to see
5.
It's not impossible. Impossible is nothing. You could do it, John D. John D, do it. He let you down 30 minutes ago unknowingly.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but I mean it was a quality bet though. I gotta give. For not having money on it.
Yeah. I think 6.5 was a better line. I'll get better.
Yeah.
We'll work on it.
Maybe he already tried. Maybe he was just too late in putting out the double, and then.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah, K-Rock just got stacked, unfortunately. Otherwise, he may have tried to. It's all circumstantial here, but.
I just run too bad. That's all it is.
Yeah, you need to run better. I think is what you got to do.
Roger with the 150 going after it in the last hand, and everyone getting a bunch of nothing to end it off. And Jack 8-0 is gonna win the last hand of the night.
John saying bomb pots, let's go, haha. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get a bomb pot out of this, but maybe they might have after the stream, after the fact, but till we see a deck change to signify that we are indeed at the end. Yep, that is what's gonna do it here. So, Aaron, man, thanks for freaking joining me. This was a fun one to do. Spread the word. Tell the good folks that this was such an awesome stream here tonight. Like and subscribe before we finish. Thank you to our production team, to ownership. Again, Q with Sonny, Matt, Taylor, Sam, Boy, we appreciate you. Good night, Chill.
I mean, you can easily have like but I also thought it was
Did he have like a bad inside out? I just worried if you want to add bomb. I haven't done bomb.
Game's over?
two funky
Alright,
cards.
I'm gonna give it 30 minutes, but if I'm like hard dead, I'm like,
Two of them, bad deck.
$50 bomb pot.
oh yeah. Fuck yeah. Oh, I'm just happy the deck is gone.
Double board.
I was like,
Yes.